You're in the right place. Online, on the web, and on air. All over the world.
Yeah, good evening and welcome to the show. My name's Suzanne.
And I'm Steve.
And it's great to have you here on this mad Wednesday evening. You'll know why soon.
Talk radio.
Yeah, we're here on the KTPF Community Talk Show.
You hear us, we hear you.
So,
well, we hear them if they ring us up.
If they ring us up.
If not, we'll just have to read them.
Yeah, we'll have to read their minds, won't we?
Oh, yeah. Here we go.
Oh, dear me. So, how is everybody in the chat room? Oh, let's just take that overlay off. Where are we? There we are. So, we've got one of them. We've been in a bit of rush this past few days, I'm afraid. We're getting ready for Romania. And we're still not ready, are we?
Here we are.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not. I'm a bit anxious.
You're always anxious before you fly out anyway.
I know. But I am a bit anxious. So, but I'll be glad when I actually get
off the ground.
Off the ground, I'll be fine. So, but I think it's booking it online and all that lot that gets me a bit flustered. And hopefully, when I get to the airport, they'll let me on the plane. I think that's the main thing, especially when you're booking for other people. So, you know.
Yeah, won't happen again, will it?
No. So, it's been a bit of a chaotic week.
They can all book for themselves.
Roxy's at my mother-in-law's, at your mum's, isn't she? Yeah. Bless her. So, yes. And as I said, everybody's meeting here this evening or early hours in the morning for the taxi.
For the first flight, anyway.
Yeah, for the first part of the flight.
Yeah, the others are going a couple of hours later.
Yeah. So, but John said, if John McClane is at the airport, come back home.
Absolutely.
I don't know. So
if John McClane's at the airport, I'm getting back on the bus.
Getting on something.
Definitely not getting on the same plane.
Oh dear me. So it's going to be I would say it's going to be a short show tonight.
Well, it's going to be an on-time show tonight.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's going to be more or less on time. So, you know, that's the thing. In a while, we're going to be speaking to Lee Brickley, who was in the chat room last week. And he's going to be talking about his blog, Paranormal Cannock Chase, which is quite interesting. It's a weird place. Covers more or less everything, really, Steve. So
lots of stuff going on, isn't there?
Yeah, well, there is. You've got.
Well, didn't you mention werewolves last week?
Well, yeah. According to the Mysterious Britain and Ireland, Mysteries, Legends, and the Paranormal website. Over the past several years, there has been numerous reports of strange encounters on and around Cannock Chase, ranging from UFOs, a Bigfoot or Sasquatch, a big cat, a giant serpent, not to mention it's haunted by a phantom black dog.
Isn't it also a UFO area as well?
I just said that, UFOs.
Oh,
see, the thing is, you see, ladies and gentlemen, it's Wednesday. And guess what's on Wednesday nights?
I keep telling you, it's only because of this. It's the European Cup final, and my team is playing, so I'm.
And how many times? Only because. How many weeks has he been watching his football?
Excuse me.
I don't know.
See, when we came out of the Champions League, it went to Thursday, and then we had to catch up on games. So
there's no excuse.
Not my fault. Not my fault.
Well, you're going to have to try and record it or something.
I'm multitasking.
But yes, it is quite a very active place, apparently. You know, and there's been loads of reports and articles that have come out of the Cannock Chase Post and Paranormal Post. Birmingham Post, which is what I mentioned last year. As I say, there's the sightings of a snarling black panther that people have seen. There's been teams called in because of Bigfoot sightings. And these are just reports that have come in the press. Respected X-Files reporter Nick Redfern has monitored sightings from Castle Ring to Slitting Mill. I don't even want to know. They sound really weird names. And all the locals who spotted the mystery beast gave the same description: a giant hairy creature with blazing red eyes. As I say, there's been Bigfoots. There's been a beast. There was a 3rd of April 2008. The beast on the prowl at Cannock. Do you know what? We'll have to go down there in the summer, sort of do an overnight or something. Perhaps meet up with Lee. That would be a good idea. See whether we can do something, because you can encounter everything in this, you know.
Seems to be quite a large area as well.
It does. Giant serpent spotted. You know what I mean? It was long, floppy.
Excuse me.
Usually concealed by hangs out at Cannock Chase more secluded spots. You know what I mean? So there's been quite a lot of stuff there.
This is getting weirder and weirder.
It is. There was UFO reports there in 2013. Blue lights at Hednesford. So, you know, we're going to find out more about this from Lee Brickley, because he's been writing a lot about this on his blog, and find out just what is going on around that area as we explore England's weirdest paranormal location. So,
well, I would say let's introduce everybody in the chat room. We have 9 viewers, but only 2 in the chat room. That's JW down in Norwich and Doc up in Minnesota.
Yeah, I'm sure they're coming in the chat room quite soon. So if you are looking, why don't you get involved in the chat room? You don't have to join it as such. Just come in as a guest and Destiny. Do we have a Destiny? Or is that Young Destiny?
I think that's Young Destiny.
Destiny today. So yeah, we've got loads to talk about there, haven't we?
We have indeed. Well, shall I get on with the
observations?
The observations.
Yeah.
Are you ready for number 1?
Go on.
Right. Using ground-penetrating radar, a team of archaeologists have discovered a large underground anomaly that is 60 feet from, you ready for this, Pumapunku Foundation.
Ooh.
The team believes the anomaly is a man-made chamber versus a natural one, and is the only one detected so far from the radar scans. Head archaeologist Domingo Mendoza stated the team is convinced the chamber is most likely a tomb, but there is no direct proof of this yet. But it could also be a buried Stargate chamber, according to ancient alien theorists. They have ancient alien theorists.
Wow.
Okay, number 2. Winbar, PA. Don't ask me where that is, but it's somewhere in America.
Does PA actually stand for Philadelphia? I'll throw that over to John Savage.
Apparently, the place I'm talking about is in western Pennsylvania.
Go on then.
Right, just about everybody has stories that come here, hearing footsteps in the hall, and a lot of people mentioning being touched. I've seen a chair shift out in front of me and then move to the right. The former Grand Midway Hotel in Winbar has been called one of the most haunted places in western Pennsylvania. Why is it they're always the most haunted place? Doesn't matter where you go, is it?
No.
With one room in particular that creeps out all its guests, Blair Murphy said it was creepy. I didn't know why. I was raised in a funeral home. That stuff doesn't bother me, said Murphy. But for 6 weeks, I didn't understand. Footsteps I was hearing, TVs were turning on. I mean, you wouldn't believe these stories if I'd heard them. But when I went through that, it was very, very weird. Quickly, Murphy's new home became a destination for paranormal investigators. It's been featured in books and TV series, most recently on Haunted Collector.
Ooh,
yes.
Brian.
Brian's been there. There are constantly stories about being touched, said Murphy. I feel like hands are touching me, and it's very common here. But there's one room in particular, Murphy said, outdoes the rest. This is it. Room number 3. They always tell me that they have creepy dreams in there, said Murphy. There's a couple of statues in there, and there's this nun statue, and it turns up in people's dreams and talks to them. I think we should send our Gary there.
Yeah, maybe we should. He's into nuns.
I'll send him this. But the building is his home. Since he bought it, the building has never been open to the public until now. I said as a joke, we should put this on eBay, said Murphy. So he did. And within one night, Murphy said he got more than 11,000 hits. The bidding for a one-night stay already passed $250 and will end on Sunday.
Wow.
$250 for one night on eBay.
What else have we got to see?
Miley Cyrus.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, she was stalked by ghosts while living in London.
Billy Ray Cyrus's daughter.
That's the one. The 20-year-old and her family rented an apartment in an English capital during the 2009 tour, but they had to move to a hotel after a number of ghostly encounters. Although it was 2009, it seems they've only just been talking about it. 11th of May 2013, she told British Elle magazine, "It was seriously so terrifying. One night my little sister, it sounds crazy to tell you, but she was standing in the shower and all of a sudden I hear her scream. I run in there and the water had somehow flipped to hot, but it was still. It wasn't like the water had just changed. The knob had turned, but she hadn't turned it, and it was burning her. She was really red. I thought I'd seen a little boy sitting on the sink watching me take a shower, so I felt really freaked out. I was sitting there the next night, and maybe I'm crazy, but I could have sworn I could see a little boy sitting there on the sink, kicking his feet. The family later discovered the apartment was reportedly haunted, and Miley had vowed never to stay there again. She said, "We found out there was an older man who owned it. The bakery had once been in the building, and his son lived there with him. I guess the wife died or something. She had gotten sick. So it was just the son and the dad that lived there in the bakery. And then the dad died and the son took over the bakery, and I thought I was seeing the son. I'm not even kidding. I had to move. That's not a lie. I will never stay there again," says Miley.
Oh dear. Does it mention the hotel?
It doesn't.
Drat.
She doesn't mention it at all, but we all have feelings of being watched from time to time, but the shower suddenly going to scalding hot, that's a bit much.
Yeah, definitely. Anything else?
Oh, yeah. Could flickering stars be messages from E.T.? Could the flickering and winking of some stars be some kind of Morse code that extraterrestrials are using to communicate across space? Princeton University astrophysicist. Hey, I got it. Hey.
Yeah, go on.
Lucian Wachowskis and her colleagues are exploring that very question. Her team is using algorithms to sift data from space observatory. I knew I'd slip up once tonight. Kepler for flickering patterns that don't appear to be the result of passing planet sunspots, eclipses, or other known reasons.
Right.
What would lead us to say it really is an alien signal, she asked. I don't know, but in my book, Finding Things You Can't Explain, it's interesting no matter what it is. And just to clear this, it has nothing to do with star twinkling that we see, which is caused by atmospheric turbulence on Earth, or so they like to think.
Right.
So, are we getting Morse code from aliens?
Don't know.
And if we are, can you read it?
I can't.
Can anybody else?
I don't know.
Keep an eye out on them bright skies. You never know. You might be able to decipher a message from an alien being.
You never know. You never know. Well, we've got 13 viewers.
We have.
Just need them to come in the chat room now.
Yes,
so they
come
can
in the chat room, guys.
Participate in questions for our guests.
Talk to us.
Have we any more, or was that the last one?
That's the last one.
Was it? Well, thank you very much for the observations. We don't find many of late, do we?
Well, I could have gone into Nazis and Hollow Earth.
No, we
a bit
don't
more
want to
about
do
that, but That,
Right, don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, if live stream goes down and crashes,
just refresh.
refresh the
and wait
page.
for us.
If we disappear, we will be back. Okay, because being an American site, it does decide to do silly updates at silly times. To be honest with you.
Yeah,
And talking about Americans, I was thinking about Doc Savage recently. Regarding Minnesota, that Hannibal we've been watching, that's actually based on. It keeps coming up with places in Minnesota. Have you noticed?
I haven't.
Yeah, bodies found in Minnesota. He said, "Yep." Have you seen them doing the old filming and everything, Doc? So I was talking to a friend of mine, an acquaintance, colleague on Facebook, and he was telling me that because he lives in Hawaii and does that paranormal corner, he actually saw him doing Hawaii 5-0. So he says not yet. They've not been round his way yet. So if you see Lawrence Fishburne, you know what's going on then, Doc. Right, I'll tell you what I do want to talk about today. I want to go just to...
Before we get Lee.
Before we get Lee, right?
Yeah.
It's not exactly paranormal, but it is part and parcel to sort of things. Something that came into my email today, because I get a lot of paganism stuff and Wicca stuff in my email from about.com. And the latest email that I got, to be honest with you, is the fact that it's that time of year again when many pagans are planning their hand fasting ceremony. This is an event that's becoming more and more popular as pagan couples are seeing that there is indeed an alternative for non-Christians who want more than just a courthouse wedding. Today we're going to looking at the number of features of the they've been looking at the number of features of the modern hand fasting. But when I went into it, I must admit, this hand fasting ritual, I knew it was a pagan thing, and like it says, instead of the traditional wedding ceremony. But when we renewed our vows, I was quite surprised when Father Michael actually hand fasted ours. It wasn't the same, but it was a similar sort of procedure, wasn't it, Steve?
It was, yes. He used his... I don't know what he called it, but it was his best one. His new one.
It was his new one.
You could say it was a fancy scarf, couldn't you?
Yeah. As I say,
wrapped our hands in it and said a blessing over it.
It says here, a couple declaring their love for one another without the benefits of a state license. For other couples, it can be tied into a state marriage certification issued by a legally authorised party. Centuries gone by, that hand fasting was popular custom in the British Isles. In rural areas, it could be weeks or even months before the clergyman happened to stop by the village, so couples learned to make allowances. Hand fasting was the equivalent of today's common law marriage. A man and a woman simply clasped hands and declared themselves married.
As the lady said today about jumping the broomstick.
Yeah, or jumping the brush. No, living just over the brush, wasn't it?
Living over the brush.
Living over the brush.
That was the...
Not jumping the broomstick, just living over the brush.
That was an old English saying for not being married but living in the same house.
Yeah. So as I say, this hand fasting thing, it does come into certain things, doesn't it? So, but it is the year, or rather the time of marriages and everything. We've got 4 weddings to go to this year, and I'm not looking forward to the funeral. So you know. But as I say, it is something that they do in pagan stuff. Maybe we should talk about paganism sometime, because it is part and parcel to this sort of thing, isn't it?
It is. Everything links these days. There's part of the pagan beliefs. They go right across the board to lots of things, and a lot of religions took up their dates and everything else, as we all know.
Yeah, this is it. So we seem to have a lot missing tonight. I know that Nigel's not been too good.
We've got to say hi to Joe, Shelley and Vicky.
Have we?
Hi, girls.
Thought he said he'd not been joined by them.
No, he said he had. I haven't. I think he meant I have now been joined by.
Oh.
He missed the W.
So, but yeah. Oh, I see. I have now, not I have no. Right. Okay. So,
Come on, where is everybody?
I don't know. We've got 11 people in, and not
come and
many
talk to
people
us.
in the chat room.
Yeah, they're all listening, but nobody's actually registered to chat.
No, they haven't.
I say registered. You just have to go and put your handle in. You don't.
And obviously we've got Lee Brickley coming up in a bit, and as I was saying earlier, later on we've got Tim Brown. He's going to be talking to us about his paranormal group, and he's also running a new store called the Pig's Ghost Store. So his actual group is called now Paranormal Intelligence Gathering Service. So that's what PIG stands for. So we'll be talking to him.
We actually bought a couple of torches off them, didn't we?
Yes, we did. I think they're police torches because they're better than our ones, the ones we got off eBay.
They do seem to be a better quality.
Yeah.
A lot brighter. Even though they are ultraviolet.
Yes. Blue ones.
As he's put on there, yeah.
Blue ones, ultraviolet. Yeah, they're quite good actually. But I think because he's ex-constabulary, I think he must have a source.
H?
No, HP. So, right. Well, what we'll do is we'll get hold of Lee, I think, and have a chat with him.
Yes, bring him through. Mr. Lee.
So let's
come tell us all about Cannock Chase.
So he's online, so we're gonna talk to him. Oh, the old Skype up. See if he's there. Faithful Skype. We hope.
Hello.
Hi Lee, you alright?
Yes, I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Good. You're live on air.
Oh, brilliant.
And he's coming over nice and clear.
He is coming over nice and clear.
I mean, on air as well.
Good. So, Lee, British ufologist, paranormal researcher, cryptozoologist, jack of all trades by the sound of it.
Yeah, that's right. Well, it's basically all because I live in this area in England called Cannock Chase, which I don't know if you know much about Cannock Chase.
I've heard a lot about it. I'm really interested in spending an evening down there in the summer.
Yeah, well, that's certainly something I could arrange. I will be doing that a number of times during the summer.
Oh, that sounds good. But first of all, who is Lee Brickley? Where'd you come from? Who are you?
I was born at Stafford Hospital in 1988, and the majority of my childhood I spent living with my dad in the village of Heath Hayes, which borders Cannock Chase. And I actually experienced some rather strange stuff while I was younger. I think the first time I had some sort of paranormal disturbance, I was about 10 years old, and this came in the form of what I'd call a shadow man who stood at the bottom of my bed during the night on many occasions for anything from sometimes 2 to 3 hours. It would seem. I know that type of thing sounds like sleep paralysis, but usually during cases of sleep paralysis, people will claim to have been attacked by this entity that would have been around them, and this never really happened in my case. But as you might imagine, at the age of 10, it absolutely terrified me.
Yeah,
and but interestingly, like I say, the shadow man that I used to witness wouldn't physically touch me in any way, but I would be totally frozen and unable to move and scream for help. And around the same time this was occurring, we started to notice some other really strange things, like cups moving on their own and scratching on the walls, and even on one occasion, furniture in the lounge rearranging itself. Now, I know that skeptics like to say that this sort of thing just doesn't happen, but I have seen it with my own eyes, and I know that it's true. And I suppose really because of that, I've decided to dedicate the rest of my life to seeking out and trying to gain some sort of understanding of this type of phenomena amongst many other types. I'm interested in everything from werewolves and UFOs to ghosts and monsters. It all fascinates me, and because I live in an area that so many people describe as a hotbed of supernatural activity, and I personally also know a lot of people who've witnessed strange things firsthand. It just seemed like a logical step for me to begin my first serious investigation and to write my first book focusing on this area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there is quite, as I said, we have covered Cannock Chase before. Not too much, but we've spoke about it before on the show. But never spoke to anybody that deals with the place and has actually been there. Now, looking at your blog, you feel as though it's the weirdest paranormal location in England. And as I said before, there is numerous websites, including Mysterious Britain and Ireland, that actually say that it has near enough everything, doesn't it? It's got UFOs, it's got Bigfoot, it's got big cats, giant serpents, phantom black dogs. If you want a paranormal investigation, you've got everything there, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean that's right, and it's only a 26 mile square area of forest. So I mean the concentration of reports is quite phenomenal. I don't know if there's anywhere else in England where there are so many reports within such a small area.
No, because obviously you start off with UFO sightings that have been reported this year. So
yeah, that's right. Yeah, there've been a number of sightings that have been reported to me of strange orbs and strange. Quite a common one is these triangular black crafts that people see silently moving across the sky. Perhaps actually the most famous incident that happened on Cannock Chase to do with UFOs that people might be aware of happened in 1964, and many researchers refer to it as the British Roswell because it's alleged that a craft blew up in the skies over Europe and a small part landed in West Germany.
Yeah.
Another much bigger section came down on Cannock Chase, and supposedly 3 bodies were retrieved from the crash site by the intelligence services. And we only really know about this thanks to some US military files that were released in the 1990s. And to this very day, the MOD in England refuses to even acknowledge that the incident happened. But interestingly, when you search through their own files, there's tons of requests, freedom of information requests from members of the public asking about the incident, but they always get stonewalled. Yeah, in fact, if anybody listening wants to know more about that incident in particular, I am going to be talking about it in my book that's coming out soon. But Nick Redfern, I don't know if you'd be aware of Nick Redfern.
Yeah.
Well, he's written a lot of books over the years, and he actually comes from a place not too far away from Cannock. So he has mentioned Cannock Chase in a few of his books, and there's one called Cosmic Crashes, which I think was one of the first books he ever brought out, and it's got a whole section on the Cannock Chase crash. And Nick actually managed to locate and interview a number of witnesses to the event who claimed some really strange stuff. So, yeah, as I say, if anybody's interested in that particular event, it'd be worth getting hold of Cosmic Crashes by Nick Redfern.
Right, okay.
Yeah. Lee, I was wondering what you think actually makes that small area a hotbed for paranormal. I mean, does it have a lot of different minerals there that could?
Yeah, well, I should probably go into the history of Cannock Chase a little bit, if that's all right.
Yeah, go for it.
Because that might perhaps provide a bit of background. As I say, it's like a 26-mile area square forest in Staffordshire, and its history can be traced back around as far as 2,000 years ago, when a Celtic tribe occupied the region known as the Cornovi. Now, this tribe was known to have performed ritualistic killings and even human sacrifice on Cannock Chase, and it's all supposedly related into this horned god cult followed by many of the Celts in Britain at the time. And interestingly, the name Cornovi is said to literally translate as people of the horn, which is quite spooky. And these people, although probably settling throughout the entirety of Cannock Chase, primarily occupied a large hill fort that still exists to this day, known as Castle Ring. And it's still there. You can visit it. It's open to the public. It doesn't cost anything. You can just go up there. And there's not much to see of the hill fort, but the views from it are amazing, and that's probably why they chose the area, because it's the highest point on Cannock Chase. so you could see any enemy soldiers or whatever that might be approaching from quite a long way away. And it's even claimed that when the Romans invaded Britain in AD 43, by the time they got to Castle Ring, it was completely deserted and there was nobody there. So that they'd seen them coming probably days away. But Castle Ring is also one of the top 3 locations for strange sightings in the area. There have been a number of UFO reports over the years and quite a few monster sightings as well, of things like werewolves, and even the British Bigfoot's been spotted up there.
Yeah.
There was a local paranormal investigation group not too long ago, actually, who spent the night at Castle Ring and witnessed some really strange stuff. They reckon they saw lights dancing in the sky, ghostly figures, and they even claim that they've got a voice recording of one of the group members saying, "Tell me that isn't a black shape moving towards me," to which a mystery male voice that can't be attributed to anybody present can be heard replying, "Yes, there is." Now, if nothing else, that's really eerie. I think you'll agree. But
Oh yeah.
it's only one example of the type of weirdness people experience up there. And as I mentioned a minute ago, there's 2 other sites on Cannock Chase that seem very active. One of which is an area surrounding the Pie Green Tower, which I'll go into in a moment, and the other is the German War Cemetery, which, as its name suggests, is a burial ground filled with Austrian and German bodies from World War I and World War II. And quite astonishingly, there's, again, for an area that's only 26 miles square, there's 5,000 military graves on Cannock Chase. And this came about because of an agreement between the British government and Germany in the 1960s. And from what I can tell, it seems that both parties agreed that it would be more compassionate for visiting relatives if all the countrymen's soldiers were in the same place. So all the Germans and Austrians who'd been buried all over England up until that point were excavated and transported to Cannock Chase. And so that's like 5,000 dead bodies who were disturbed and moved here. And, when something like that's occurred, I think it's unsurprising that so many strange things happen in the area.
I want to go.
Yeah, more than welcome to come.
I want to go. God, everything there, haven't you?
Yeah, well, with regards to the German cemetery, I've even received some reports quite recently myself of dark figures lurking in between the gravestones, and there was one lady who reported to me only a couple of weeks ago about these 4 men who she saw dressed in 1940s British military uniform, roaming the woods around the cemetery, almost as if they still felt the need to keep watch over the Germans even after death.
Can you just explain geographically where it actually is, whereabouts in England it is?
It's in Staffordshire. It's about 30 miles outside of Birmingham, so it's right in the middle of England.
There you go. It's all right. We've got Doc Savage in Minnesota. He's asking about it. So I hope you know where that is, Doc. So give you some idea.
He must have heard of Birmingham.
He must have done. So, but it's not far away from me. I'm in Manchester, and I'm intrigued. I really am. I'd love to go.
Wasn't it the German cemetery that you reported on a werewolf being spotted?
Yeah, there's a werewolf or something.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I know you mentioned that last week. There've been a lot of werewolf sightings in the area. I think it was 2007 when a series of sightings caught the attention of the national and international press, and this resulted in a number of articles and sighting reports actually making it into the mainstream, which is quite odd for werewolf sightings. I've got one article here actually from the Birmingham Post, and it describes this wolf-like creature with glowing red eyes that everybody seems to, that all the descriptions seem to be relatively quite similar. But it goes on to state that several of the witnesses claimed that the creature sprang up onto its hind legs and ran into nearby bushes when it was spotted. And now this is quite a common trait for all the werewolf sightings that I've been getting. Far from being like the killing machines that people imagine them to be, whatever it is that people see on Cannock Chase seems to be more scared of them than they are of it.
Yeah.
And also, there's been a number of sightings during daylight hours, which is quite a problem for a lot of people to accept, because they have this preconception that werewolves only appear under a full moon. But this isn't true. I mean, before fiction authors began to write about werewolves, there was absolutely nothing to suggest that they had any association with a full moon at all.
Right. Doc Savage in Minnesota said he thinks you're describing his ex. Oh dear.
Yeah.
But
Lee, can I ask, do you find that the various sightings of different things are isolated to different areas in the forest, or do they kind of go all over?
Yeah, as I say, there seems to be three main really active areas. A lot of the ghost sightings happen along just random roads in the area, but a lot of the UFO sightings and the werewolf sightings and the big cat sightings seem to happen around Castle Ring, the German cemetery, and as I said, the Pie Green Tower, which the Pie Green Tower actually gets a lot of UFO sightings, and it was for anybody who doesn't know, it was constructed during the Cold War as a backup communication system in case the Soviets set off an EMP over England.
all right.
And it is in fact one of the very few telecommunication towers in the country built with reinforced concrete. It's a bit of an eyesore. You can see it from miles away. It's huge. But it's become quite an iconic element in the local landscape. And allegedly, the military stopped using the tower at the end of the Cold War and have since sublet it out to mobile phone companies and things like that. But a lot of people don't believe this is true. I've had reports from residents claiming that they've seen army vehicles turning up there in the dead of night, and there's even some claims that the tower marks the centre point of an underground network of tunnels that stretches all the way from MOD Donington, which is slightly to the west of Cannock Chase and is a weapons storage and testing facility, to many other bases around the Midlands. So there's certainly a lot of controversy surrounding the tower, and as I said, there've been a lot of UFO sightings and strange lights reported from up there.
Well, on the subject of the black cats, have you been finding any scat around?
Yeah, they do. Again, the German cemetery seems a really active area for these type of sightings, and there've been a number of high-profile big cat sightings on Cannock Chase.
Yeah, you've been finding the evidence of scat.
Oh, scat. Sorry, I think it's scat.
Sorry.
Scat and footprints.
Scat and footprints.
Yeah. Well, I haven't found any evidence of that, but I've certainly read articles of people who have.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So.
Yeah. But I think that the big cat sightings, just like the werewolf sightings, when we're talking about Cannock Chase, can probably be put down to some kind of paranormal element again, because of the nature of the sightings. I mean, some people have reported seeing these cats appear and then disappear a few seconds later just in front of their eyes. So
are you thinking it's not actually a panther or something?
Well, I've got no doubts that the big wild cats exist in England, and they have done since the 1970s when the government passed the Dangerous Animals Act.
Yeah.
In fact, in 1989 there was an Asian jungle cat found dead at the side of the road in Ludlow. I don't know if you're aware of that.
No.
But it's it's only a few miles outside of Cannock Chase, and at the time, Dr. Carl Schuker, who's probably England's most respected zoologist, said that from the condition of the animal, it had obviously been living in the wild for some time, and we definitely know for certain that Asian jungle cats are not native to England, so it must have escaped or been released from captivity.
Yeah.
But that said, nobody's ever come forward to claim the animal. So
no. What about this giant serpent that's been found or seen?
Well, it's been seen. Yeah, apparently it's a 14-foot snake that's been seen around the Birches Valley area of Cannock Chase.
Sounds about right for an anaconda, doesn't it? That
size. So obviously you've got to remember, obviously, if people go there at night, they've got to be careful, because it's not just these creatures that are alleged to be seen. There is. Would there be any adders in the grass and everything?
Well, yeah, that's right. I've actually been speaking to a gentleman who works for a place called Midlands Reptiles.
Yeah.
And he actually takes photographs of snakes in the wild, and also if people spot snakes within the local area, he'll go and remove them.
Right.
But he's actually got a number of photos of adders from Cannock Chase from over the last 10 years. The most recent of which I think being about 2012. So they definitely do exist, and they're surprisingly big.
Yeah. So people going out there at night will have to make sure that they watch where they're.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I wouldn't go out there without a torch.
No.
Anyway.
No, definitely not. But I'd really love to go.
And strap your shins up so you don't get bitten.
Yeah, strap the shins up, and all this, that, and the other. But I would really love to go and see some of this. Are there any significant dates when things are being seen? Is it like only on certain dates, or is it any time?
No, there doesn't seem to be any pattern at all. It seems to be pretty much constantly.
Right. And why do you think this is happening there? Why do you think there's so much activity?
Well, as I say, it's hard to determine why a portal area or a window area might open up, but I think certainly with the amount of strange, like occult rituals that have been performed at Cannock Chase over the years, and also over the last 100 years, there've been quite a surprising amount of particularly gruesome murders within the local area as well. And I think these types of things and perhaps really high stress situations, can cause some sort of warp and make these type of things happen.
Yeah. Do you know what, Steve? Though people go out on they book extreme holidays to find all this Bigfoot.
Just go on
stuff.
camping, Cannock Chase.
And yeah, and we've got it here. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Well, let's face it. Our Simon actually went to Canada
Yeah,
to find Bigfoot.
he did. And all he could have done was gone down to the Birmingham area or whatever.
Yeah, gone down to Cannock Chase.
You know, so.
I must admit, the scenery's a lot better in Canada.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm really interested. If anyone wanted to do this sort of thing, what's the best thing to do?
Oh, do you mean to start investigating things like that? Or?
Come down to Cannock Chase.
I mean, are there any restrictions?
Are there any restrictions? You know, I'll be honest with you. I'm there in mind. I just want to be there in body.
Yeah, that's it. Well, you can't camp in the woodlands or anything.
No.
But there's nothing stopping you from going walking up there whenever you want and doing whatever you want. You know.
Really? So, can you get lost?
Yeah. Probably. Yeah.
26 miles of forest. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would probably need a guide.
Yes, that's right. And if anybody would like to come, I'd be more than happy to show them around. So,
is it something that you'd be interested in doing, like tours or anything like that?
Yeah, well, maybe once my book's out and I've got time to focus on some other things, that's definitely something I'm considering doing. Yeah.
Right. And what's your book called? When's it due out?
Well, the book, I'm just finishing editing the book now,
Yeah.
and with a bit of luck, it should be out sometime in July. It's called UFOs, Werewolves, and the Pigman, exposing exposing England's strangest location. I should probably explain the Pigman. I don't think it's ever been written about before,
Right.
but it's like an urban legend that exists in the area, and a lot of the kids report hearing this rhyme in the playground. That I think it's gone on since pretty much the Second World War,
Yeah.
and it might well have been made up simply to scare people away from Cannock Chase, because during the Second World War there was a lot of military activity on Cannock Chase. Around 1 million troops passed through Cannock Chase because there were 2 huge camps constructed for training people on the way to the front line. And the rhyme that people are reporting is something like, I can't remember off the top of my head.
It's gone.
Mine's gone blank. Yeah, but it's like I say, it's all in the book, and I'm editing it at the moment, and hopefully I'll be able to talk about that a little bit more once the book's out. I wouldn't really want to spoil it anyway for anybody who hasn't read it yet. So
I'm just trying to Google it, but I can't see anything on it at the
no,
moment.
well, that's it. The closest thing that I've found that's ever been reported anywhere in the press or anything is the last sentence of an article that I think came out in 2011, and it was talking about werewolf sightings, and right at the end it mentioned this gentleman from Cheslin Hay, which is really close to Cannock Chase, and he claimed that he'd seen this this huge snouted beast on Cannock Chase, but it didn't go into any details. I think perhaps it's a little bit too controversial for the mainstream.
Right.
But yeah, the rhyme's actually just popped into my head, and it's when night falls, enter the woods at your peril, for inside lurks something worse than the devil. Avoid at all costs the gathering place, where at midnight the pig man roams on Cannock Chase.
Hey, do I really want to go?
Well, I think it's more of an urban legend than actually.
Well, I don't know. I was
Real-
Googling there for something, and I've just found Carl Schuker, yeah,
In the middle of Cannock
in the
Chase.
middle of Cannock Chase, seeking trolls.
Yeah, that's
What
that's
the
about
hell?
right.
That would be the snouted person.
Would that be the snouted person?
It could be. I
It
suppose,
could
yeah.
be, you know.
Could be, but a lot of people believe that this Pigman story, obviously it's a bit of an urban legend, but the story is that it's sort of an animal human hybrid.
Right. Oh,
Uh,
I'm just reading on there.
yeah.
He said it is rare sightings of these latter-day trolls, but he believes that it is responsible for the accounts of Harry, Bigfoot, or werewolf-type entities. So he thinks it's a troll. There's some trolls out there.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's certainly a possibility.
Bizarre
I'm actually-
hairy entity, variously likened by its startled eyewitnesses to a Bigfoot or even a werewolf. Ooh.
Yeah, well, I'm actually I'm attending the Weird Weekend this year.
Oh, I'm not going to make it.
No,
I'm at a
we're missing-
wedding.
I've seen your interviews from last year on YouTube.
Yeah,
Did you have a good time?
it was brilliant. I was looking forward to going back this year,
Yeah,
but I've got a wedding and unfortunately I can't make it.
It was a bit wet, and we had a wild cat in the area.
Yes, we did.
Ah.
We haven't been camping for since we were kids, and we thought we'd go camping last year and have
Yeah.
some fun, and it was wet literally, but we survived, and basically on the Saturday night we went to bed, and there was two dogs that were in this lorry trailer thing on the site,
In the back of
and
a
they
van, wasn't it?
on the back of the van, and they were literally going crazy. And then the following morning we went back to the second day of the Weird Weekend. We spoke to John McGowan, who's dealt with black cats
Yep.
and scat and all
The
that
cat
lot,
man.
the cat
Yeah.
man, and he thought somebody had been winding him up. Yeah. And when we went down there, I said, "You're not going to believe this, but we had some activity at the site. The
Yeah.
dogs were going crazy, and we heard this weird noise. And when we told him what it was, he went, "Oh, thank God for that. I thought somebody was making making a joke out of me,
Yeah.
because I heard it too." You know,
Yeah.
and it was really weird, and so that was an experience for me as well. You know, but
So,
which is where I learnt all about the scat from. So
Yeah.
you know about
Yeah.
the animal, you know, the cat poo sort of thing.
Yeah.
You know what they find in it.
yeah, we have a lady or gentleman called Fuzzbat.
Fuzzbat?
in the chat room who says they live very close to a spooky place at night. But,
I live close by, a very spooky place at night. So she lives close by to Cannock Chase, I assume.
he or she, we
Yeah.
don't know whether.
So I don't know whether you know this personally.
I don't think so. No, never met anybody called Fuzzy Bat. I don't think.
Fuzzbat.
It's a nice name,
Fuzzbat.
anyway.
Sorry. Yeah.
So you know, so basically, maybe she can come. I used to travel home through the chase on my bike in the dark, isolated and scary. That's what they say. Are you male or female, Fuzzbat? Can you just you know, let us know what that is, please,
And did you ever see your
or hear anything?
experience anything while you were cycling
Yeah, Mal.
Hello.
So no, he's a Mal. but yeah, so he lives not far from there. So I'd really love to come down though, Lee.
Yeah. Well, as I say, I mean, we can sort that out.
Ooh,
Definitely.
I'm excited now. Can we go there instead?
No. We're flying out of at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Oh God, but yeah.
Yeah, it's Romania you're going to, isn't it?
Yes, our second visit, and our last, to be honest with you.
We'll try and find somewhere else for next year.
Yeah, I'm hoping to go to Germany next year. But
Yeah.
they live on tales of werewolves and everything else. And
Yeah. I mean, is that why you're going? Are you looking for vampires or?
no, not really. We wanted to. Well, we didn't want to. It all started off as a joke, really. A friend of mine used to take the mickey out of me because she said I liked Christopher Lee, and she was on about this old 90-year-old guy. So I was trying to find a nice picture of him as Dracula. And then I came across Bran Castle, and I thought, well, we're a not-for-profit group anyway, UK Shadow Seekers. So I gave them the spiel. We're looking for places that need renovating, blah, blah, blah. And can we come and investigate? And They went, yeah. And I'm like, what? And it sort of happened from there. And they don't know much about Dracula as being at the castle. You know, or Vlad the
The
Dracula.
Impaler.
Yeah. Basically, they know he was there, and they think he was there twice. But it's more, you know, they know about the fact that it was built in 1212 and then it was redone again. But in between that and 1920s, they don't really know the history of it.
Oh, right.
So there was an English princess who went over and married a Romanian, became queen. And in the 1920s, they never had any electricity or running water or anything like that in the village. So she built a pump and everything, and then shared it with the villagers. We had a nice story when we were over there that by the tour guide that people were coming over and asking, who's this Dracula guy? And the villagers were going, Dracula? Hey, what? You know, who is this guy? And then when they realised what they were on about after seeing the films and seeing the book Dracula, the next time people were going over, they were going, oh yes, I know this guy. Come see my daughter. She's got punches in her neck where she's been bitten and anything to get money, you know.
Yeah.
So but no, there are bears and stuff like that over there. So
Yes, there are definitely wild bears.
yeah, there are definitely wild bears over there.
Maybe it's the wild bears that are getting mistaken for werewolves.
For werewolves, you never know.
Oh,
But
well,
they do actually believe in that, and they do actually believe in the werewolves that the vampires, because at the end of the day, some of them actually do go out and stake the dead. There was a story a while ago.
Can I just interrupt you there?
Go on.
There's Chris has come in. He says, "Hi, I live in Cannock. I was chased out of the chase in the late 1980s by what looked like a creature about 8 feet tall. There was a group of us and have never been in the chase since."
Oh dear. Fancy going back with us then, Chris? But no, there was actually a story where there was a family that dug up their relatives and staked them, and then reburied them. And because in our time now it's not the done thing, they were actually put into prison as desecrating the graves.
Yeah, they served about 4 months.
I think they served about 4 months. But to the villagers and everything else in their area and their family, they were local heroes.
Yeah.
You know, so they do still believe in all that stuff. So when you go over there, you've got to be a little bit in discretion, you know what I mean? You know, they believe in all this
a little bit wary of their beliefs.
Ghosts and all that lot. So you go over there and saying you're conjuring up God knows what else, you know. Because to them you probably are, you know, you probably are conjuring up the devil.
Yeah.
So you've got to be a little bit discretional with it. Yeah, you never know. But we've got, as I say, we've had a couple of stories come through. I'd like to know more, Chris. You know what you actually saw. Is there any chance you can give us a call on 0844 414 3982 and give us a call and talk to me and Lee and tell us what you saw or how you felt? Is that possible?
It's just scrolling along the bottom of the picture there.
Yeah. So as I say, you can give us a call on 0844 414 3982 and talk to Lee and tell him your story and tell him what you thought.
Have you heard of anything like what Chris was describing there, Lee?
Well, yeah, obviously a creature 8 feet tall. I mean, it's not very specific, but obviously it could be like the British Bigfoot type of thing that people have seen. It could be a werewolf, or perhaps he's even seen the pigman straight out of urban myth. Who knows?
You never know. So do you think there really is werewolves there? Do you think, could it be this lycanthropy or whatever you call it?
Lycanthropy, yeah.
Lycanthropy that people have maybe got, or just somebody with a monobrow these days, can be a bit dodgy these days, can't they?
According to the films, that was a sign.
It was a sign.
What, the monobrow?
The monobrow, yeah. A lot of people are going to get their eyebrows done now.
Well, yeah, I mean, only a few hundred years ago, werewolves were believed to be completely real, weren't they? And,
well, this is it.
Many people were convicted and killed for being a werewolf. So I mean, we know now that a lot of these people would have been suffering from a rare mental condition that we call clinical lycanthropy.
Yeah.
Which, as I say, it's very rare, but it does exist.
Well, this is it. It's like
yeah.
it's like the full moon syndrome, isn't it? That's
that's right.
Associated with the werewolf, and but then again, it's like lunacy, isn't it? Some people, they do go a bit funny when the moon is full.
Yeah, that's it. And before medicine really understood these type of mental illnesses, I mean, when you've got people acting like wolves and claiming that they're transforming into wolves themselves, I mean, it's unsurprising that people believe them at the time. And as I say, like, a lot of them were killed for being werewolves throughout the whole of Europe and even England.
Well, this is it. So
we also hear lots of stories about people actually being brought up by wolves.
Yeah, we've heard that in the past. Very rare though, isn't it? But there has been stories.
Real life Mowgli.
Most of the stories seem to come from the what used to be the Eastern Bloc, Czechoslovakia and that sort of area.
So, well, they don't look as though they're going to give us a ring and tell us what they saw. I don't know what it is. People seem to be shy to ring us.
That's okay. If they're still listening and they don't want to ring up, but they want to report the sighting, they can do that at my blog if they want to.
Yeah, they can do that. So, but as I say, we've had two there. As I say, Fuzzbat said that, on his bike it was dark, isolating, and scary. You know, I'm really want to go now.
Yeah.
So maybe one nice summer night we could meet up, Lee.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, it's spooky at night, but during the day, it's,
are there any little hotels nearby?
It's really beautiful. Yeah, there's quite a few hotels, and there's right next to Castle Ring. In fact, there's a pub that I think's got a couple of rooms that you can stay at. So.
Right. Okay. So that'd be good. We could go down during the day and have a look around and get.
Yeah, that's why it's probably better to have a look in the day first. So you get a good feel for what it's actually like.
And then maybe book a room and stay over and go out in the dark.
Yeah, that'd be good. You know, go out for the evening. So, but saves having a beer.
Yeah, that's right.
So you enjoy obviously doing this sort of thing. What's going to happen after your book's release? What is it you want to do in the future?
Well, I'm gonna continue writing. I don't know whether I'll continue writing about Cannock Chase.
Yeah.
I'm probably not finished writing about Cannock Chase. I will write another book about it at some point in the future.
Yeah.
But once the book's out, obviously I'm going to try and get on as many radio shows as possible, and I'm also in talks to make a documentary about Cannock Chase, which we'll just be putting up for free on YouTube for people to watch.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll be doing that.
Right.
And obviously, as I said, I'm going down to the Weird Weekend on the 16th to the 18th of August this year.
Yeah, you'll enjoy it.
Yeah, well, I'd say it's the first time I've been down. I'm not speaking there, but John Downs, who runs the CFZ, has kindly said that he'll give my book a bit of a plug.
Yeah.
While we're down there, and it's also a great place to meet some of the most respected writers in the field.
Well, this is it.
We call him Bigfoot.
We call him Bigfoot. He's our lovable Bigfoot. He is.
Yeah, he's got. I've only really spoke to him over the internet.
Oh, he's a lovely guy.
He's a great guy.
I always watch they put an episode up every month.
Yeah.
On YouTube, don't they? Have on the track, which is like a cryptozoology program.
Yeah.
I watch those, and you know, I say we've had a bit of a chat on the internet and that, and he seems like a really nice bloke.
Oh, he really is nice. Him and Richard Freeman, they're great guys. So,
yeah, again, Richard Freeman. I've spoke to him, and he seems brilliant. He's been really supportive. In fact,
the
CFZ have been, as I've been uploading blog posts, the CFZ have been posting them to their blogs and doing a little bit of promotion for me as well.
I'm not surprised. They're good like that. Yeah. So, you know, as I say, John, he loves getting, you know, new explorers out there. It doesn't have to be in far out Sumatra or anything else. Even in our own backyard, you know, he's very good at that sort of thing, and very welcoming to up and coming writers and everything. So don't be surprised if you're not on next year's Weird Weekend.
Yeah, well, this is it. I mean, Richard Freeman asked me who was publishing my book, and I told him that, you know, I'm actually bringing this book out myself because it's my first book and I want to do it all myself. And I think it'd be difficult to convince a publisher to let you write a book if you've got nothing out already. Do you know what I mean? You'd be in a much better position to get a book deal or whatever if you've already written things. And I'm hoping that when I'm down at the Weird Weekend, I can make myself a member of the CFZ and perhaps talk to Richard Freeman about releasing some books through, because they're a publisher as well. So
yes. So,
Yeah,
so guys,
should be
is there any more questions that you might have on the chat room for Lee that you'd like me to ask for you, or any statements that you need me to tell him? Anything else coming through before we let Lee go? Now, I believe tomorrow is a very special day for you.
Yes, it's my birthday tomorrow.
Happy birthday for tomorrow.
Thanks. Interestingly, when you look through the Ministry of Defence UFO files for Cannock, one of the biggest mass sightings that's ever occurred actually happened on the night that I was born. But more than just happening on the night that I was born, it actually happened at the exact time that my parents would have been driving through Cannock Chase to Stafford Hospital.
Wow.
With my mum in labour, which is quite odd. So I suppose I'm sort of tied into the local area.
So what are you doing tomorrow night then?
Well, I don't know.
Driving through Cannock Chase.
I'll go to Castle Ring and see whether we can spy any UFOs or anything like that tomorrow night.
I don't know. So, do you have all the equipment and that, or do you just go out as just an urban explorer?
Well, I'm not really. I don't get that convinced by like EVPs and things like. I'm not saying that I don't believe.
No. He's dropping his mic. Don't mind him. Did they score or something? I think he's fishing now. Sorry, you were saying.
Yeah, I'm not saying that I don't believe that things are communicating through EVPs. That might be the case, but for me at least, there's just too much chance of somebody rubbing their thumb against the microphone, or and so like. I like photos, so I'll be taking cameras out with me whenever I'm up the chase, and
that's why when we do EVP work, we actually put the recorder down somewhere so nobody's touching it.
Yeah,
that's it. I think that type of thing's really important. But like a lot of paranormal groups, you don't get to see that. They'll just upload the EVP sound.
Oh yeah.
So like as convincing as it might sound to me, I can't commit myself to it because. I don't know whether they've just rubbed their thumb over the microphone or there's somebody stood just outside making some noise or whatever,
Well, I would like to come down with an EMF meter or something like that, and and just see what's going on, and and a camera and my eyes and my own ears,
I wouldn't be surprised if there isn't a lot of quartz in the area.
Quartz, quartz. There's a lot of quartz and limestone. That could actually attract
it tends to promote a lot of
activity,
paranormal activity.
Yeah. So, but
bring it all down.
Yeah. So as I say, it's something I would definitely love to do if you're willing to be our guide, so to speak.
Yes, definitely. Well, you've got me on Facebook, so just message me whenever you'd like to come down.
That'd be great. And what's the best time? Weekends would be better for you.
Yes, definitely. Either a Saturday or Sunday.
Right, okay. Fuzzbat said, count me in. So you'll be interested in that as well, Fuzzbat?
The more the merrier.
What about you, Chris? Do you dare go back after your escapade in 1980s? So would you like to go back and find out what this creature could have been? Maybe you'll come back and say hello to you. And say, sorry, I didn't mean to scare you.
I tell you what, guys. If you're interested in going in this, keep an eye on Lee's blog.
Yeah.
And we'll make arrangements with Lee, and he'll put it on the blog, and then we can all meet somewhere.
Yeah, a limited number, obviously. We don't want too many down there, but as many as Lee can manage of us.
Yeah, well, that's it. It'd have to be a small group because if you got too much of a size, we'd probably have to ask the council for permission.
Well, this is it. Yeah, so sort of like 4 or 5 people, I would suppose.
That's fine.
Yeah. But Lee, what is your blog anyway? Can you let everyone know where they can find you?
Yeah, it's paranormalcannock.blogspot.co.uk. And there's a link at the top where you can enter your email address, and so you'll get a message every time I put a new article up or when the press release comes out for the book. I only post around 1 article a week to it, so you're not going to get inundated with messages.
Right.
And, like I say,
what do you need to do for that? Sorry.
If you go to paranormalcannock.blogspot.co.uk, and then there's a little widget at the top on the right hand side for you to enter your email address. And if you enter your email address in there, can you see it? Is it coming up?
Yeah.
If you enter your
I've
email
now
address
got
in there,
to put this silly catch thing in.
Yeah, they do that, don't they?
I hate them things.
Oh,
Yeah, I
dear.
do as well. I'm forever having to refresh it and get new ones because I can't work out what it says.
Hopefully that works. So, yep, I've just been accepted.
Yeah, so
So that'll
every
be
time
good.
that there's a new post on there, you'll get an email about it.
Right, that's okay then. So if anyone wants to do that, just in case you didn't quite catch that, if I just copy and paste it in there, everyone can go to that. Well, thanks a lot, Lee. Hopefully we'll see you every now and again in the chat room.
Yeah, hopefully.
And so do you work during the day then?
Well, actually, I'm going at this full time now. Now,
Oh, are
my
you?
book's written. Yeah,
Right.
I actually I left full time work about 2 years ago, and I started up a website called theconspiracyreview.com, just doing book reviews,
Mhm.
and that ended up leading to me doing book reviews for a few paranormal magazines,
Yeah.
and that sort of kept me going really.
Right. Okay.
But hopefully, when the book comes out,
But the
that'll be
reason why
enough.
I was asking is because a friend of mine, he was on the show a couple of weeks ago, Todd Bates. He's
Yeah.
starting his radio show back up in America,
Okay.
hauntedvoices.com. And I'm sure he'd be interested in having you on if I put your name forward. And the only thing is, you're looking at about 2 o'clock on a Thursday morning or a Wednesday morning or something.
Oh, well, it's not a problem. I get quite a bit of insomnia anyway, so I'm I'm often up to
if
about
you're
6 o'clock.
interested, I'll put your name forward and he'll probably give you a contact.
Yeah, that'd be great if you wouldn't mind. That'd be brilliant.
That'd be fine. Well, I wish you all the best of luck with your book.
Okay.
As I say, keep in touch with us. Anything that you're doing, that you feel as though might be interesting to us, let us know, and we'll gladly broadcast it on the show for you.
Yeah, and when you get round to doing your tours, don't forget paranormalevents4u.com. It's a free advertising site, and you can advertise your tours and things on there.
Yeah.
Okay, that's brilliant. Thank you.
All right, my love.
Yes, so have a nice time in Romania.
Thank you. And hopefully we'll speak to you soon, and I'll definitely contact you about a hot summer night in Cannock Chase.
Yeah, well,
Hopefully.
thanks for inviting me on.
That's all right. Hopefully they'll come out and say hello to us.
Yeah, you never know.
All right then. We'll take care. Speak to you soon.
And you. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Enjoy your birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday for tomorrow. Ta-ra.
Thanks. Bye.
Well, that was Lee Brickley. What did you think to that? That was great. Is this
Is this what? Shields?
Hello, Shelds. Is this what? This is the KTPF Community Talk Show, and we've just been speaking to Lee Brickley, who's got a blog called Paranormal Cannock Chase, and
Paranormal Cannock blogsport.co.uk.
Yeah, that's where it is, but that's what it's called, Paranormal Cannock Chase, exploring England's weirdest paranormal location. And as Steve just said, the link there is for you, okay? And basically, we're interested in going down there. I don't know about you lot, but yeah, it's sounds a very interesting place. I'm gonna be talking to Tim soon, but see what he has to say about things like that. But what do you think? What's your opinion? Obviously we've had a couple of people come through. Chris, I'd love to know more about your experience, I must admit. So, and what you actually saw even. And it was great to have two people come on and actually say that they had seen something. But I'd really love to go, wouldn't you, Steve? What do you think?
I think it'd be a brilliant idea. It's the thing about Cannock is it's not just one thing.
No, it's not.
Anything can happen when you're down there. UFOs, werewolves, big cats, snakes, all sorts of stuff could be going on.
Yeah, but you'd have to really get your shins sorted out with you and that, so you didn't get bitten by adders.
bit of cardboard wrapped around your legs and
because
tied.
adders are our actual poisonous snake, aren't they?
They're our only
Mm.
poisonous snake.
Mm.
So I would like to know what a paranormal sighting looks like.
Weird.
That's got to be one of the most difficult questions to answer.
Yeah, they are weird. Paranormal sightings are very weird. They can be weird.
Mostly anything that shouldn't be there.
Yeah, they could be anything from black cats to silly lights in the sky. So that's what paranormal sightings look like. And it all depends whether you can actually sit there afterwards and say, did I really see that? Or was that a figment of my imagination? What do you say, Dog Savage? That's more or less the synopsis of a paranormal sighting.
They're 1 second, gone the next.
Yeah, that's what that's all about. So there you go, Dizzy. He says. So it is a bit of a weird subject, the paranormal, and very interesting indeed, which is why nutters like us decide to go out and try and find it. Wouldn't you agree?
I would. Hi, Andy. Andy707 just popped in.
Oh God, Andy's just missed a good one.
And he's just missed the chat on Cannock Chase.
I know.
He will be miffed.
I don't know.
There's always playback, Andy.
There's always radio replay.
Unfortunately, it will have to wait until we get back from Romania.
Oh, we said. I tell you what, we're organising going out there one summer night and seeing what we can find. You've got UFOs, you've got giant serpents, you've got Bigfoots, you've got werewolves, you've got trolls, you've even got a pig man apparently.
Apparently.
Yes. Got everything and anything and everything.
But that one could be an urban myth.
It could be an
urban myth. Of all the things that you say could be a myth, it's the pig man.
It's the pig man. Sounds like something out of a Howard Stern movie, that does. But I'm not going to go there.
No, don't go there.
I don't know.
Yeah, he didn't say man.
You sure it's not Middle Earth, he says. Well, Andy, I'm terribly sorry.
Well, considering it is actually right in the middle of England, I probably could call it Middle Earth.
You could do. I'm terribly sorry, Andy, but you've come on just at that time. I'm about to play something that you're not keen on. So we'll be back in a few moments.
It's time for the advert.
See you soon.
And now, here's a word from our sponsor.
Finally, the #1 weight loss and fitness challenge in North America is coming to the UK. Don't miss your chance to be the first Brits to be a part of it. Be honest, right now you probably want to lose some weight, live a healthier, more active lifestyle, or get in better shape. We're here to challenge you to make your health a priority with the new Body by Vi 90-day challenge.
My favorite thing about the challenge was just losing the weight. Got my life back, that's it.
Now we've gone from being couch potatoes to being, fit athletes, working out, strength training every single day. It's changed our whole lifestyle.
Let's be real. You don't have to look far to see we have a problem. A growing problem. With today's work demands and faster-paced lifestyle driving us toward quick fixes, it's no secret how we got here. Finally, something that's simple, affordable, fun, tastes amazing, and most importantly, it works. The Body by Vi Challenge is the solution you've been searching for. The challenge is North America's #1 90-day platform for weight loss and fitness results. To date, over 500 million Vi shakes have been served to millions of people who have already lost millions of pounds, making the challenge the fastest growing weight loss and fitness movement in North America today. Powered by a line of innovative wellness products from Vi, the Body by Vi Challenge is coming to the UK. The perfect way to start a lasting health transformation. And by simply selecting a kit, you have access to all the resources you need to succeed. So, set your goal, select your kit, enter to win. Be the first in the UK to be on the challenge. There is no better time than now to start making your health a priority. So why not start losing weight, getting fit, saving money, and having fun. Guaranteed. Are you up for the new Body by Vi challenge?
The one phone call that I made to try to join the challenge to lose weight has changed every aspect of our life.
You're in the right place. Online, on the web, and on air. All over the world.
Yeah, welcome back to the show. And we're here, me and Steve, aren't we?
We are. Mr. Esmondo just come in.
Mr. Esmondo. He's another one that missed about UFOs and stuff.
He did, but he'd be popping round here about 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah. So I'm just queuing this up ready.
What are you doing?
Ready for the events later.
Aha.
So how are we? Taxi comes at 4. Guess what I've got here. What have you got there, Ez? What have you got? So are you going direct to the airport after the show? No, I'm going to have a couple of hours skip. That's what I'm going to do after I've finished packing, Andy. And then we're off. So I've got somebody coming round in the next hour or so. I've got somebody coming around at 11. And then Esmondo and 2 other people are coming round about 3:30 in the morning to knock us up and say, "Oi, wake up, cab's due in half hour."
And he still wants us to guess what he's got.
What have you got? Don't say KFC. Got a major couple of exams next week. Nervous. Well, I'm sure you'll go well with them.
Yeah, I'm sure you will, Andy. Good luck.
All
with
right,
that.
I wish you all better luck. Lazy, no time to sleep. Well, I actually got my first good night. Well, I don't know about good night's sleep, but I got my first sleep yesterday. I've been having a couple of hours that I'm not very keen on. Hi, Romy, John, and Christine. I beg your pardon. Guess. John and Christine there? Is that what you're saying? Is John and Christine at your house, Eric? Yeah, this is John. John! It's nice to hear from you. Are you back in the country?
Or just a flying visit.
Or is it just a flying visit? If you're back in the country for a flying visit, next time you come over, can you get me some Romeo, please? Till Monday. Ah, that means I'll miss you. So, nice to hear from you, though.
He turns up, we fly out.
Yeah, he turns up and we fly out. I don't know. So, well, we've had, those of you who've missed it, we had Lee Brickley on, and he's been talking about Paranormal Cannock Chase.
Tell us a little bit about his book as well.
Tell us about his book, and we are hoping to go to Cannock Chase one night in the summer, in a few months' time, to have a look, to see whether we can find any UFOs, Bigfoots, big cats, giant serpents, or phantom black dog, or even a werewolf. So I'm definitely up for that. So, you know what I mean? What do you think, Eric? Do you fancy that one? So, I do. I know that much. I think quite a few of you actually do, don't you? So, I know Fuzzbat said she'd be interested. Sorry, Fuzzbat. Where is that? Don't tell me. Up north. It's near Birmingham, Andy.
Yeah, it's about 30 miles south of Birmingham, I think.
Yeah, I think it's south of Birmingham. So it's in the Staffordshire area. So it's what they're calling Middle Earth at the moment. But not as far as Manchester.
And it's just a shame we're going to miss John and Christine, though.
No, I know. So, do you fancy it? Out in the cold? Well, hopefully it'll be a warm night.
We always put our big coats on.
Talking about warm nights, warm days, we're going to be in the 30s when we go to Romania. I'm going to come back with a tan.
We did last time.
What's that? Junction 11 to 12 off M6. Thank you, Fuzzbat. So, at least I know where it is.
There you go, Andy.
Yeah. So,
Well, we know Cannock Services,
Yeah, I know Cannock Services, yeah.
so maybe it's not far from
So
there.
is it not far from the Cannock Services? Is that on the old road or the toll road? Either junction will do.
There you go.
Because I don't like the toll road. Do you?
No.
It's good for driving, but it's not good for paying. Old road. Right, okay. I'm definitely thinking about that. Maybe June or July.
Yeah, we can get in touch with Lee and see what he's doing.
Even if it's just pop down for the day and have a walk around. What's next on the show? Next, dear, I'm about to contact Tim. Thank you, John. All my love to Christine as well.
Yeah, take care, mate.
Right, I'm going to contact Tim now. Tim is from Pigs. Tim's in the chat room as well, if I just saw rightly. Did I see that rightly?
Yeah, Tim Brown was it.
Tim Brown, are you in the chat room? She said same to you, though. Yes, did. Hello. Are you ready for me to call you, Tim? Do-do-do-do-do. We are going to call the man. Let's get on his page so I can refer back to it in the right place. I've got too many bloody pages open at the moment, as usual. Right.
It's about normal
Yes,
for you,
I'm
that.
just spamming the show. How are you? Stop spamming me. Oh. Stop spamming, not spamming the show, but sharing the link. You do that. Good evening, Tim.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm all very well, thank you. Very well indeed.
Oh, it's nice to hear somebody with a southern accent.
Sorry, I'm just having a bit of an issue with my sound here.
I said, it's nice to hear somebody with a southern accent.
A southern accent?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what, to us, the southerners down here, we don't think we have accents. We think everyone else has accents.
Yeah,
apart
well,
from
it's
us.
funny that, isn't it? It's just that we're living up here in Manchester, you know, and coming from like down south, you know, and all you hear is people talking Mancunian and Liverpudlian and all that lot. And
You know, I
Birmingham.
tell you what, a few years ago, you know, when I was a child, which actually that was only a few weeks ago, but yeah, I used to think that actually it was everyone else because we spoke like the people on the news, and therefore I thought that everyone else in the country was weird because they had accents and stuff. But I realise now, of course, news is regional, isn't it? So everyone's got their own accent on the news.
Yeah.
Bit of a random fact there for you, but there you go.
Sorry, I just got thrown away by something. So I hope so, Lee. Sorry. All right. Sorry about that, Tim.
No, that's all right. It's all good.
Oh dear. Right. Pigs.
Yes.
Now, tell us briefly.
That's not nice, calling it. How'd you say that to your guest?
Pigs, tell us briefly, because it's been a while since you've been on the show. Paranormal Intelligence Gathering Service.
Yes, that's it. Well, we used to be called the Paranormal Investigation Group Sussex, of course. But then, you know, through 5 or 6 years worth of work, we didn't actually ever do anything in Sussex. It was always everywhere else.
Yeah.
And when we looked at what we were doing, it was more about, you know, going to an investigation or conducting an investigation. And really it was about gathering, you know, data and intelligence and all the rest of it. We don't tell people that someone's haunted. We just literally get all the data and present the facts that we found. So really the name fitted a bit better to what we was actually doing, and we took the Sussex bit out because of not ever doing anything in Sussex. Not for a want, but just that's how it sort of worked out.
Yeah, yeah. And obviously, you're ex-police officers, or most of you are.
Yep, that's right. Well, that's why we had the name Pigs. To be honest, it was one of those moments we went out onto doing sort of what we call as a muddy field investigation, you know, where you sort of go out for fun and you walk around a haunted location which is outside. And we did this at the beginning, and we were sort of like having a laugh, thinking, you know, wouldn't it be funny if it was a paranormal group, and like laughing at some of the names that they had, because they always seem to, you know, be like a, you know, an acronym for something.
Yeah.
And eventually someone come up with Pigs, so we then come up with a name that sort of fitted it, because it sort of fitted us, so to speak. we did have other names as well, which were like things like Knobs and Idiots and all sorts of stuff like that. But Pigs was sort of felt better after a while.
Yeah, yeah, and obviously you approach your investigations in a very unusual manner, but not to you, obviously.
Not really. I mean, for us, it was all about, you know, using the stuff that we had learned or we used to whilst we were serving police officers. So, for example, you know, an investigation for us is literally finding the suspects, isn't it? And it's not necessarily our job to prove that. We just have to gather the evidence, and you give that over to the CPS or a jury or however it works, and they decide based on your evidence whether you have enough to convict that person of what they did or whatever. So we kind of take that as a basis, and we put that into our investigation style. So when we do a case, we'll gather as much as we can on the case, and we'll call it a case file, and we'll have it all through, and we'll eventually have like a courtroom in the case file where people can, after reviewing the evidence, vote of whether they feel or not that the place is actually guilty of being haunted.
Yeah, and obviously, from a fan of things like CSI and everything else, you obviously have an unsub.
A what?
An unsub.
An unsub? What's that then?
That would be your ghost, wouldn't it?
You're
a paranormal paranormal person.
Oh, what you mean, a ghost here in this house?
No, when you're doing the actual investigation, the ghost would be like the unsub. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I get you. We call them the suspects. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, unusual suspect.
Yeah. Sorry.
Sorry, I've been watching too many American.
Watching Criminal Minds too much.
My house is about to move.
Yeah, so you've got your unsuspicious, your unusual subject or whatever it is, unknown suspect, which is unsub. Yeah. Which would be the spirit. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
And then you go from there, wouldn't you?
Yeah, so I mean, there's an awful lot of research that takes place. So, for example, you have, I don't know, the tale of a house with should we say, a grey lady that walks in and out of the back door. So what we start with is saying, okay, so what's going on with this house? How old is it? When was it built? What was on the land before that? Who's lived in it? Get all the names of everyone that's ever been there, anything in connection to it in the media, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
To try and work out the potential of working out who this person is. So once you then have a list of suspects, you would then work out, okay, what does she do? What's her modus operandi? What does she do? And then try and go through the people and see if you can find something that's similar. If it's someone that's, I don't know, always comes around when there's a cat in the house or there's children in the house, some little habit thing like that.
Yeah.
Then as you go through history and you look at the people that are there, then you can suddenly find, that potentially Mrs. I don't know, Jones from 1932 was like fanatical about cats, or she was I don't know, a nanny or something like that. You'll find these weird facts that come up, and it's really quite fascinating to try and identify the suspects in that way.
Yeah.
So
and he said, if you're all police officers, what do you do now? Are you still all police officers?
No, one of us still is. The rest of us have gone on to other things. I personally do this now for a job, so we've all done things like different things, but we all kind of have good friends that are still in there and we're quite close to them, etc.
Right, okay. And somebody said that you sound like Ravi off Crime Watch, because they're saying that your voice sounds so familiar.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
maybe I've said too much in the past on other radio shows and stuff like that.
Well, we've got Tim Jones in the chat room.
Tim Jones.
Yeah, which is a name I've not seen for ages. So,
do you know what,
Tim?
Tim Jones is going to go on to become a football coach one day.
Is he?
I believe there's a job at Wolverhampton Wanderers.
He says you're a great guy and you know your stuff.
Thank you, Tim. I'll forward the money after the show.
Right, he said, Andy said, do you get paid for your investigations?
Not private ones. We don't, simply because I don't think it's right to charge people to go and have a look around their house or all that sort of stuff. And not only that, I don't think they'd pay anyway, to be honest.
No,
but the way that I'm trying to earn a living out of it is simply by using studies. And I'm trying to put together a book, which is sort of case files, without revealing anything that should be kept private, but to make it interesting from a ghost hunting perspective, and a factual side rather than it being kind of story based. So I'm trying to do that, and I've got a publisher interested in that, but obviously I've still got to do the work. The other thing is, doing sort of various events and stuff, and I'm trying to look at some ghost walks. I'm trying to do everything I possibly can. You know what? I've got no idea if this is going to work for me as a career. I've got 1 year to try and see if I can make a career out of this, and I'm 5 months through, and I haven't made any money.
Is it a money-making scheme? Yeah. That's the thing.
And
no, it's
Andy
not.
said he's sure we've met.
So, you know,
I don't
is it a money making scheme? That's the thing.
Well, I don't think. I think there's so many elements of the paranormal that, to be honest, there is no money to be made because it's either ethically wrong or whatever, however you want to cut it. But you know, I think, but there is the opportunity to do things which people are enjoying and they do find interesting. You know, like the book side of stuff, and the ghost walk side of stuff, the entertainment side of stuff. You know, it's all great if you've got a great factual base to put it on. I'm not one for the fanciful kind of making stuff up, but I like it. I think there's room for a better truth to be out there, and I don't know if I could do it, but I'm gonna have a go.
When you was in the force, Ghost Rider's asking, did you get many weird calls to attend?
No, because they generally always get put down to something else. So if the kind of level that I was at, which was a constable, then it would always be drunks, breach of the peace, like family disturbances, or shall we say domestics and all that sort of stuff. It wouldn't ever, or burglars or intruders and that sort of stuff. It would never be, I don't know, haunted house with reputation of strangeness, get called to it, etc., etc. It'd always be something more realistic. And to be honest, in the adrenaline of what you're doing as a job, you wouldn't really consider it haunted anyway. You'll be more interested in like point of entry and how did they get in and what's happened here and all that sort of stuff.
Right, and there's so many rumours in the past and you hear it every now and again about psychics being used in the police force. Do you actually use a psychic with your team?
No, we don't. We don't, unless we're doing a public event, of course, which is more. We don't have a psychic in the team, but we do use a lady called Debbie Dean on events. And we use Debbie because not only do I think she's a great person in terms of her ability, but she does that psychic art stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And it's absolutely nuts to see the stuff that she draws.
Yeah.
And she draws it in complete like pitch black, so she kind of has to turn the light on to see what she's drawn. And some of the likenesses that she's come up, on her website, etc., are just fascinating. And of course, it fits completely with us because it's like an E-fit. It's like one of those artist's impression of the suspect thing. It's brilliant.
Yeah, got a few more questions in the chat room for you. Andy Mercer, Andy707, said he's sure that you've met. He said, have you ever done an investigation with COTC? I don't know what that stands for.
There's a group down here in West Sussex, I believe, which is kind of run by Stuart. If I'm not incorrect, is Andy in the chat room now? I can't see.
Yes, he is. Andy707.
I think that's correct. I don't know. I haven't. I've never done an investigation with them. But obviously, being on the south coast, I do know lots of the guys that do various.
He said they're a bunch of nutters.
Are they?
He said they're a bunch of nutters.
I'm sure lots of people could sum us all up in that way.
I'm sure. I'm definitely one doing this sort of thing, I must admit. Anyway, Tim Jones is asking, do you think that psychology plays an important part in the role of paranormal investigations?
I think it does.
Yeah.
Because I'll give an example. We was doing an event at the weekend, and I normally show people pictures of ghosts or pictures that have been taken that people think are ghosts, and we talk about the picture and all the rest of it. What was interesting, we had a picture that was sent in, which was supposed to be witches. And when I looked at it, you could say, it looks like a load of witches dancing around, but it also looks like mist. And if you was going out on taking photographs of, say, the environment or mist, or just taking photographs, you would say it was mist. However, if you're going out to take pictures of ghosts, you'll say it's ghosts.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things, that picture, it was a great picture, and it kind of like showed people a style of thinking. So psychology definitely plays a big part in how people think and feel about their home being haunted. And what as well as I do, that if someone's worried or scared of a haunting, everything that happens, regardless of how innocent, is always down to the ghosts.
Yeah, this is it.
And he knocked at the neighbour or next door or whatever they're doing. It's always the ghost, it's never the neighbour. And it takes a lot to kind of give them the confidence to believe in the real things again, rather than the potential it's a ghost.
Right. I'm going to give you a scenario. We've just been talking to Lee Brickley, from the Birmingham, Staffordshire area, about Cannock Chase. I don't know if you've heard of it.
No.
Right, okay. Now, it ranges from strange encounters from UFOs, Bigfoot, big cats, a giant serpent, a phantom dog, and werewolves. Now, let's just say you've gone there. How would you deal with that sort of thing? Which of that would you believe in, or something like that? How would you attack?
How would you
that
approach
problem?
it?
How would you approach it?
I think it's quite fascinating. To be honest, it sounds like a shop in Brighton.
It does, doesn't it? It does. It's
But
got
it
everything.
It's been a long time since I've been to Brighton, but I agree with you.
I think, to be honest, every single different part has got a completely different, maybe a different approach to it. For example, let's go for Bigfoot, because it's the one that's stuck in my mind.
Yeah.
Okay, so the report of Bigfoot, I'd probably want to know, okay, why Bigfoot? Who said what? What's it supposed to be going on? Where was it supposed to happen? Where's the evidence? Can I actually speak to the people that saw it? All that sort of stuff. What is the actual evidence about Bigfoot being in this area?
Mm-hmm.
And then just sort of like look for that. I'd literally take it every strand at a time.
Yeah.
Not dismissing anything, but just literally going over, listening to the story, seeing if there's anything to back it up. Go and have a look and see if there's any reason why people may think or feel that this is the case. Is that thing about the Bodmin cats and the big cat of the Bodmin Moor or whatever it is. And there's been so many photographs, and they all look like this massive kind of black leopard thing. Not leopard, but a big black cat.
Yeah.
But then there's also other photographs where it's just actually an ordinary moggy, or a goat or something like that. So it's really hard. Unless you're actually on the thing. And I think this is where maybe these days where we've got things like videos and phones with virtually everything on board them, we can see with a much better perspective about what actually is happening rather than having to listen to the tale of what happened.
Well, they've been talking about stuff that they've been seeing what they looks like a dog, and it literally gets up on its hind legs when seen and runs. Things like that, and some reputed explorers like Carl Schucker and Nick Redfern have been going on about various Bigfoot sightings and trolls and stuff. It really does sound like the place to be for every single encounter, and they've got a German cemetery there, which apparently has been seeing some of these sightings as well as ghosts and everything. So I'm intrigued.
I'd be very intrigued. So I think it's even worth going into mythical folklore and stuff like that to see if there's any connection with any of the stuff as to what potentially is going on here. I mean, let's say for example it's all real. And so what's the cause? Why is it all there and not somewhere else? And why is it sort of isolated? What's the concentration all about? And then on the other side of it, of course, maybe look on the other side where it's not proven, it's just what people have said. So okay, who's the wildlife experts in the area? What have they got? Have they got any records, any strange tracks, any weird droppings? Farmers, have they lost any animals and that sort of stuff? And there's quite a lot of lines of inquiry to go through there.
Definitely.
I'm just trying to find a post here that Chris put on. Here he goes. He said he was he lives in Cannock and was chased out of the chase in the late 1980s by what looked like a creature about 8 feet tall, and there was a group of us, and I've never been to the chase since.
So what is the chase? Is it an area? Is it like
it's
an area?
26 acres of wooded area.
Yeah, it's 26 miles of
26
wooded area.
miles. I thought it was acres.
Okay.
26 miles, or it's in the Birmingham, Staffordshire area.
That Rendlesham way as well. Because he was saying about the British Roswell.
No, it was saying that
in that
some of the UFOs is classed as a British Roswell. So I don't know whether Rendlesham's near it or whatever.
Okay, because there were some fascinating UFO stories, isn't there, that's been recorded through the 70s and 80s about places like that.
So I'm definitely going down there in the summer. I've got to go and have a look. So I've arranged. I've arranged. It's got everything, I must admit. So everything for everyone, really. Cryptozoology, big cats, and ufology, and
giant snakes.
Yes, as well as the ghost factor.
I think it's brilliant because there's so many paranormal groups, isn't there? But all they do is study ghosts, and it'd be great if there was a bit more kind of coverage for all the other weird stuff that goes on.
So where would you like to investigate the most? I've been asked to ask you.
It's got to be. I thought my best investigation place to go would obviously be somewhere like the Tower of London and all that sort of stuff. But Kieran O'Keefe on Facebook has been putting up his top 5 most wanted to go and investigate. There are places you never heard of, like in Mexico and all that. And you look at the picture, you go, "Oh my God, just look at that building! It's just like oozing ghosts and stuff."
Really?
So yeah, it was just like the creepiest place you could ever imagine, and it's some old monastery in the middle of the desert and all sorts of places. So I suppose without really being able to remember or pronounce the names of the places, but somewhere like those, I think there's a lot of really weird stuff as well on the European, sort of Eastern European continent. Some of the places the connections with Dracula and all that sort of stuff. That sort of stuff is fascinating as well, because it's outside of our culture, which generally is like churches, monks, grey ladies, and all that sort of stuff.
Well, funny enough, I think the last time you spoke to us, we were not due to fly out to Romania.
No, I do remember you saying about that.
Yeah, we're off again tomorrow.
Oh, brilliant! Okay,
we're back.
Did you go the first time? You did. You must have done.
Yes, we went the first time. So
you did some ghost hunting while you were there.
Yeah, well, that's what we went over for.
All right.
To do Bran Castle.
Yes.
And they invited us back again, which I'm glad in a way, because we got lumbered with TV crew and everything.
Well, me and you did, didn't we?
So me and Steve didn't really get the chance to do it. So we was too busy helping them.
What did you find the difference between somewhere like that and somewhere that's similar in the UK?
Well, I'll be honest with you, because me and Steve didn't get a chance to investigate it, we don't know what's there. Yeah. But the team that was doing it at the time, they encountered little bits and pieces and got some stuff, but this to me is our first investigation, so I'll probably find out more when I do it this time. But I know we're not going back next year. We're hoping to go to Germany next year to a prisoner of war camp. So which might be interesting. But yeah, it was probably the fact of what it was and what it is that was quite exciting.
Yes.
The fact that a little group like us has managed to be able to do that, was quite a feather.
I was going to say that's a fantastic achievement, isn't it? And to get out there and be able to experience something which is locked in the UK a little bit, and everyone's done before. Something like that, it's just a bit different. And
the thing is with Bran Castle is everyone looks at it as, oh, it's Dracula. We had a young man from another group that came, and unfortunately his mind got carried away, and he swears blind that he got Vlad Tepes on the planchette and drew him and all this, that and the other, but he was only there twice,
and all he got was the name Vlad, so I think he kind of jumped
he
to
sort of got the name Vlad and just assumed it was him, and had got the wrong date, and I think he just got carried away with all the hype, which was a bit which was a bit bad, but unfortunately the TV crew jumped on it and went, oh, paranormal group from Britain picks up on Dracula, I didn't think it was right. I actually said to the manager, I said, look, I'm terribly sorry about that, but that's not true. And he said, don't worry about it. It's a positive negative and false positive or something. And within the week, one day he opened up and he had
2,000 people through the door
before 10 o'clock.
That's all right, isn't it?
So he was happy.
Yeah.
We had a few, EVPs and stuff, I think, and that we need to sort out still. And going back will give us that reference, if you know what I mean. And for those who did do it last year, it will give us a bit of a something to work on.
Yeah, I mean, when you do something more than one, if you go back to it after a period of time, you've always got some unanswered questions, haven't you? Or the EVP, which kind of, was a bit strange. And you can go back and not only try to get to the bottom of what happened, but maybe go a bit further with your investigation.
I think you need to, with paranormal investigating, I do think you need to go back to a venue on a couple of occasions to get the variation.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Or consistency as well, because
this is it.
We went to a place called Myra's, and we've done it about 3 years running. And it was, the EVPs in the place was just phenomenal. But what was really weird about them is they were an Eastern European accent, and it was the same voices every time we went back.
Yeah, this is it. So, but it is the it is the differenceness of it, I must admit. And if you can talk it, and understand what they're saying as well, it makes it a bit better.
Yeah, well, it would help.
If you're getting a ghost come through talking Romanian and you're like,
yeah, I get it. Hang on a minute, yeah.
thankfully, we know we will have a guide there, so hopefully they might be able to help us.
Yeah.
But, you know.
We have a question for Tim.
Yes, from Tim.
Yeah.
He wants to know, with your police background, where does that place within your own belief system of the paranormal come from?
I think it's that my own beliefs come from me rather than anything I've done. I think I've always wanted to believe in ghosts. I've loved ghost books as a kid, and I've always had the fascination with the suspects with the subject. And I think in my time in the police, it was a moment in time when I was more focused on that than anything else, and I didn't really have much interest in the paranormal, etc., etc.
Yeah.
However, since then, a couple of things have caught my eye and made me interested, and then I'm back into studying the subject probably more now than ever before. So at the time, it meant the paranormal stuff really didn't mean much to me, other than I was interested in hearing the stories. But nowadays, of course, I'm interested in everything it's got to do.
Is Ghost Rider would like to know, would there be anything that you'd like to investigate back in the old crime scene, like 10 Ridlington Place or Jack the Ripper, anything like that?
I think there's some really fascinating stuff come up on the Jack the Ripper stuff, isn't there?
Yeah.
Especially, I was watching a documentary actually not very long ago about it being one of the guy. It was a guy that was a sailor, and he was German, I believe, and he ended up in America or something like that. But the way that they followed that case through, it was just fascinating with the ship's records and all that. And it's a kind of a little bit closer. Kind of how we do our paranormal investigations, in terms of it does involve a lot of stuff which is unconnected, but you've got to kind of trawl through, and it was just brilliant the way that they pulled that together. But at the same time, I can't believe that they didn't get to the bottom of that in those days, because they weren't without researchers. They weren't without people that would actually investigate. It wasn't all just the bloke with a whistle on the corner in the rain.
No.
They did have people behind the scenes that would do the book work as well. So I don't know how on earth they never got to the bottom of Jack the Ripper, but maybe it's just one of those things that looks clearer.
Yeah, they've come up with so
on.
many names, haven't they? Really, like Andy says, it was Aaron Kaminsky. They've come up with quite a few names, haven't they, for who Jack is? I don't think they really know themselves.
No, because there's always that conspiracy in there about it being all sorts of public figures and members of royal family and all the rest of it as well.
And there's no, like he says there, by today's standards, there was no real forensics in the day, was there?
No,
they had it down to the fact that they thought it was a butcher or a slaughterman or something like that, simply because he could operate with a sharp object or something.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it, I go fishing. And I can do a nice work on a fish. I'm pretty sure I can cut somebody up nicely if it came to it. So, I mean, all you need to do is be able to handle the knife steadily.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to be a doctor.
It's exactly that. It's just confidence with the tools, isn't it?
This
yeah.
is it. Yeah.
I mean, okay, if it had been hacked, you would say, it's a rank amateur who doesn't know what they're doing. But because somebody is actually cut properly, it's automatically a doctor or a butcher.
Yeah.
I mean, these days there'll be lots of profiling as well. What's the psychology? What are they doing? All the rest of it. In those days, they probably didn't have that.
Yeah.
It was more about where it was, who was where at what point in time, and how long it would have taken to do X, Y, and Z, etc.
Now, there's something that Andy's mentioned on there, that the JTR about the energies, they're now so weak. We've had this before where people say you never see cavemen, and there's a scenario that the Loch Ness Monster was actually a ghost, and because it's been so long, the ghost of a prehistoric animal, the recordings run out, so to speak.
Yeah.
Would you say that that happens?
Possibly. It's really hard to say, isn't it? Because I think there's so many different types of phenomena.
Yeah.
I mean, you're right. Where would you find a caveman ghost anyway? But then, is it? But then you have the other side of it, of course, that would say, look, maybe hauntings are a result of the people that were here's belief in the first place. We've got lots of monks in this country, and they're all supposed to have lived a life where they were, I don't know, whiter than white and all the rest of it. And there's lots of monks hanging about, and maybe that's because in their lifetime they weren't quite as clean as a whistle as that they were supposed to be. They knew that. They don't want to go to heaven or wherever it is they believe they're going, because for fear of retribution. And consequently they're now hanging about in the destroyed monastery and haunting the grounds. Potentially it's more about, maybe it's about the beliefs that the person or people have or had as well. I think, to be honest, if we could answer that question, we would probably know about ghosts.
Yeah,
But
I was just thinking when I said that, actually, after speaking about werewolves and stuff like that. If you think about a caveman, he's got like this fur on him.
Yeah.
He's got long, scraggly hair. He's probably unshaven.
Bigfoot.
Yeah. or werewolf, teeth
Yeah,
bad. You know what I mean? So maybe they aren't dying energies,
It's a good point, isn't it? That's a good point.
Perhaps that is what we're seeing. You just never know. So, it's weird. Well, anyway, PIGS, Paranormal Intelligence Gathering Service. You've not just been doing investigations, have you?
No, I've got my paranormal shop.
Yes, and with
well.
the demise, I say demise because they've not come back yet, of Tom's Gadgets. I don't know what's happened to them.
It's a shame. I actually quite like Tom's Gadgets.
I did.
It was a good place, and the service was great. And,
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, some of the things was, he was out of stock a lot of stuff, but it was a shame to see any business go down, especially one like that.
Oh, yeah. So it's funny actually because somebody found out I was having you on. They said, "Oh, can we come on?" I've got a shopping client in Scotland or something.
Right. Oh, okay.
But anyway, back to ghost stores. What made you decide to do this?
Well, it's I've got a fascination, probably like most guys out there, for gadgets and all that sort of stuff, and I find it extremely frustrating that you can't buy the stuff in the UK.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, we've always had like a shop that sold torches on the website anyway, just like a few pages and stuff.
Yeah.
But I thought, as I'm going to go self-employed, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and do this properly, or try and do it much better. And I had a few thoughts about what we should do and how we should make it work. And it's not really something that I'm looking to make a living out of, just the ghost store, but it's certainly something which I'm quite pleased about having. And it's the feedback I'm getting is it's great that we've got a stock range and it's things like that, but the original principles of it was simply like, if I could find some quality products at reasonable prices, to have a good choice, and I don't have a problem doing trustworthy service. If I can't do it, I'll tell somebody, and I'd rather give someone their money back than have them thinking that we've ripped them off in any way. But it's that with whatever.
Well, you've got products that I've not seen before. For being a stalwart for Tom's Gadgets, which is where everyone used to go apart from eBay. But there are other shops and you can go to. You got to say that, haven't you? You've got to say that. But as I say, you've got stuff that I've heard of on television shows and stuff, but never actually seen in the store, like the REM-DD, the vibration detector. What else have we got? We've got full spectrum illuminators, the electromagnetic vortex.
I know that's
where the hell are you getting these from?
What a name that is, isn't it? The vortex machine. Yeah. Well, I think
he's been talking to Brian.
He's been talking to somebody.
Basically, you have a range. I wanted to do stuff. I wanted not just to have one product of some things. I wanted to have a bit of a range so people have some choice. And it's like EM pump or electromagnetic field pump. So one of these things that are quite popular in the States and everywhere else, and they're not so much used in the UK, but they're kind of coming in. You can't buy them in the UK, I don't think, from any kind of UK manufacturer, so you have to buy them abroad. Now, what I wanted to do is have a range. So I've got the pulsar, I've got the EM pump, which is a 2.2. I don't know what the 2.2 means, by the way. I only assume there must have been a 1 and a 2, and now there's a 2.2. So it's the latest one for that. Then there's the EM Pump Ultimate, and then there's the Vortex. And then basically what they do is they just push a magnetic field into the atmosphere, but in a different way for each machine. The Ultimate's got several modes and so on and so forth. So it's about having a range of stuff that people can choose from. I carry enough stock to get me through, but the trouble is, if I sell out of something, it takes me something like 6 weeks sometimes to get the bloody stuff back in. Sorry, I shouldn't say that word, but it takes a while to get the stuff back in. And it's a little frustrating when someone wants to buy something from you and you haven't got it.
Yeah.
So, and I wanted to try and do a range of as much as I could find that people don't have access to. And the other thing about buying it in the UK is you haven't got to worry. You've just paid the price, and you haven't got to worry that you bought it from abroad. Is it ever going to arrive? If it does arrive, the customs going to grab it and charge me a load of import duty on it. You don't have to worry about it all because I've done all that already.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
this
and
is it.
trying to get that good sort of stuff. Now at the moment I'm struggling to get stuff from the States because I think they have some kind of tax about shipping into the UK, which is providing a bit of a challenge. But
Yeah.
you know, some people in the country sell mail meters, and I'm going to try and find a way of getting those. But I don't want them at the price that everyone else has got them. I want it at a better price because you know the mail meter is a great piece of kit, but it's old hat now, and it should be cheaper.
What's a couple of diode receiver? What is that all about?
That I've used for the first time seriously over the weekend, and I was strangely impressed with it. Basically, what it is, it's I can't even say his name, Roundabout diode. I'm going to skip the name. I can't pronounce it, but anyway, that bloke, is a European scientist, and basically he came up with a way of doing EVPs, which basically involved his diode antenna, which he'd plug in and use as a microphone, but it didn't record, if you like a microphone. It recorded the environment, or the airwaves.
Yeah.
And to his point, he would make clearer EVPs as a result of that. Now, having used, I mean, it isn't the ones we sell aren't actually his ones. They're a reproduction of the circuitry that he's talking about. So having used one, it's quite weird because you look at the file and it's just like a flat line of white noise. But when you go right into it and you start listening, it's quite weird because, you know, it does pick up people talking, which is obviously the team that's around the device, but very quietly and in the background. And in the foreground, you've got this white noise. And as you listen into it, there's strangely, I did pick out quite a good couple of EVPs over the weekend from it.
Yeah.
Which I was surprised at because I just thought it was going to be a white noise thing, and I was actually really pleased with the results from it.
So, MN Pig, Minnesota Pig, is in Minnesota. Doc Savage, as we call him. His name's John. He said the EM pumps are very easy to make, but he gets better results from the Tesla coil. Regarding your troubles with American tax and getting stuff in, he said he can help you with that if you need it.
Yeah, any help I can get, I'd appreciate. It'd be really fantastic if you could let me know how to get around that. I mean, I want to do everything properly, but it's, you know, I just want to be able to buy.
I'll hook you up over Facebook, and then you can.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
Okay, so I'll do that for you. But,
okay.
As I say, you have got quite a few gadgets and gizmos there, haven't you?
Gadgets and gizmos are one part of it, but you know, there's lots of different types of ghost hunters out there, which I kind of have to admire. There's the spiritualist ghost hunters and the things that they like to do, like the pendulums and the candles and all the sort of things that they believe is part of their investigation. And then you've got the traditionalists, you know, which like to do things with trigger objects and Ouija boards and automatic writing and all that sort of traditional stuff. And I think it's, you know, if you're going to be a ghost store, you've got to cover the things that are fascinating about ghost hunting and potentially I tried to load my shop in a way that I want it to be inspirational, so someone can have a look at the products and go, you know what, I've got no idea what on earth that is, but it seems quite interesting and I'm quite fascinated by that. Or they'll look at something and go, you know what, the last time I heard about that, it was in the Victorian times, and that is a brilliant idea, and I think that's going to be fun to try and use. Because ghost hunting and our investigation isn't always about serious, stuffy stuff. Sometimes it's good fun as well, and I think if you've got some stuff which gives you some inspiration to try new things, then that's got to be a good, positive thing.
Yeah, this is it.
Do you have any inventors on your show?
Inventors? No, I don't.
Well, I have a few like bones to pick with inventors. And that is this. I want to buy some things which aren't currently invented. So if anyone's listening that's like a bit of an inventor, then they want to try and create something. I've got a couple of ideas that I'd like someone to try and make. Right, I'll start off with this one, the Ouija board. Right, have you found it's so hard to buy a decent quality Ouija board? They're all made out of blooming plastic or paper or cardboard, and I don't want it. I want a good wooden one, which has got a nice feel to it and a glassy, shiny, polished, whatever top to it. Really quality thing, like an old piece of furniture. But what I also want it to do, I want it to be able to generate. I want it to generate white noise or something like that to have a bit of modern stuff to it. So there's that. Go on.
Doc Sarah said he's working on his own wireless data pods.
Okay, brilliant. That's a great idea.
You know, so.
That's great. And another idea, you know, the spirit lamp is a fairly new thing that seems to be surfacing. It looks like a black box, and it's got like, I don't know, a red and a green light on it for yes and no. It's a spirit lamp. Why does it not look like a lamp? You know what? Can we have a Victorian lamp that goes on and off because the spirits touch it. That would be a good thing.
Yeah.
Not a black box that looks like a calculator or an iPhone or something.
Funny enough, I've got one of them touched lamps. Maybe I could use that for a Victorian seance.
The concept is about using, in Victorian times, they didn't have technology like we've got it. They used things that they had around them, didn't they?
Yeah,
and I think there's a lot of weight behind that to carry on with that sort of experimentation. Like the ghost box, the radio that doesn't work. It's not a Frank's box. It's a ghost box. It's a radio that doesn't tune in, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, if we're going to build those, that plastic things from wherever they come from, why don't we just make like a nice looking 1940s radio with the dial that slides up and down on its own, rather than, because that's the same concept. I think there's lots of room for more stuff, better stuff.
What do you think to that ghost box, to be honest with you?
And Ghost Rider said he knows a good carpenter.
You know what, I think it's like any experiment. I love the experimentation. I don't know about the ghost box because it's so flawed in so many ways, but saying that, there's been a couple of interesting things come from it. It's like I suppose the best example I can draw from it is, there's some brilliant examples on YouTube, but the best personal example I've got is being in Jersey, and someone was using the ghost box, and they said, thought they were talking to an army person that's in the castle, and they said, "What is your rank?" And it went click, 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 and it went captain, but the word captain went over about 4 clicks.
Wow.
Which was, I thought, really fascinating. We've got that on record, and it's just like one of those things. So maybe the ghost box does work.
Yeah. A friend of mine, Steve Mera, we went on a house investigation, private one, and he turned around and had this microwave detector which kept going off every so often when it was picking up the microwaves.
Okay.
Do you know anything about one of these?
A Geiger counter type thing, was it, or?
It looked like.
It was a little box.
It looked like an old one of the old. What do you call them? Little message things.
Pager.
Pager. Yeah.
It's about the size of a pager, and it just clipped. He had it clipped on his jumper.
Yeah, and every so often it would click off. And sometimes it would go 3 or 4 times, and he was saying there's obviously microwaves in the around the property, but not coming from the microwave itself.
No, but microwaves can be carried by all sorts of things, broadband and all sorts of, any radio device will have a form of communicating via airwaves, and I suppose it's what wavelength it's got that gives it whatever bandwidth it has. I tell you what I did see at the weekend, which was quite interesting. There was a guy there who had a radio scanner on him, and he was using it because this experiment where people put a K2 meter down and they sort of like, can you make the next light flash and all that sort of stuff. What he was saying is that radios in certain frequencies can cause those things to move, the lights to flash. And he carries this little radio scanner and he listens for clicks and pops and whatever on the basis that it ties into the K2 thing. So it's quite interesting that he had a little thing, and that was about the size of a pager as well. It was quite a nice little bit of kit.
So these vibration things, they can work then. That you've got
the vibration, but the vibration thing is one of those things where someone says, "Oh, can you feel that knocking?" or the table's vibrating, and all that sort of stuff. It will bring to life that moment when someone says something's happening. What I discovered about that is as well, it's got like a brass plate on the back, and I don't know how it works. I didn't build it, but if you go anywhere near it, it just goes haywire, it goes nuts. And it's almost like I've tried experimenting with this, like a spirit talks. Can you spirits touch this, affect the lights in any way? I haven't got it to work yet in terms of the ghosts doing it, but if you go anywhere near it, it just goes wild. So it's a potential experiment to try. The other thing is the REM-DD, which is a great piece of kit. I quite like that. It's basically you pull the aerial up and it creates its own field around its aerial. And the concept is, should anything enter that field, it will go off and let you know. So you put it up and it settles down, and it takes like 5 minutes or so, and as it settles down, the field gets a bit bigger around the aerial. And I put that somewhere, and it does weirdly go off.
Yeah.
Talking about the vibration thing there, one of our teams got one on his phone.
Yeah,
and
iPhone.
Ghost Rider was asking on there, what's your opinion of the phone apps?
He said he don't think they're any good, but would like to know your opinion.
I think there's some good ones in the terms that the iSeismometer or something like that, which is the vibration detector.
Yeah.
That's great because it's measuring environmental stuff which you can use. There's some great audio recorders on there. Would I use an iPhone to measure EMF? No, I wouldn't. Would I use it as a ghost box to tell me that there was ghosts in the room? No, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
So there's lots of entertainment apps. I think if you're going to use an iPhone for paranormal investigation, then great, because everything's in one place.
Yeah.
But choose the apps which are likely to be real apps rather than the ghost detector or whatever.
As I say, there is one that he uses that says words.
Iovulus. Is that it?
Yeah, it's a bit like the Iovulus, and that comes out with random words, and it's like, what's that mean? What's that? And it just,
not
to
sure
me,
about that one.
Not sure about it.
I tell you what's fascinating about it, but I'm not sure about, because there's one I think it's a bit like Ghost Radar that has a similar thing.
Yeah.
But one I'm familiar with is the Iovulus. I spoke to Digital Dowsing about it, and they've got the Iovulus has got a dictionary, I think, of 1,000 words.
Mm-hmm.
And what's quite fascinating about it is it comes up with these words, and it's triggered by any change in the environment or whatever around the iPhone, and the number it attributes to the value of the change triggers a word in its dictionary. Now, if you do an experiment, if I was to give you 1,000 words in a dictionary and I said you have to have a conversation with me, what the conversation is going to be is very broken pidgin English in a way, because you've only got certain words that you can use.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you take the Iovulus and it comes up with these random words, but if you look at the log afterwards and go through it, I say it could be just coincidental, probably is, but you can actually form sentences out of what it says if you look close enough and try and think. It's like taking like a word search puzzle, if you like, and say, okay, it said this, then it said that, then it said that, and it said this, which kind of makes a little bit of sense.
Yeah.
And there's a few little strings in some of the data like that. So, is it ghosts? I don't know. But it's fun and it's interesting anyway.
Yeah, this is it. So how's it going with the ghost store? How long's it been up and running?
The ghost store launched on the 1st of March.
Right.
It's been a lot busier than I thought. And if I'm honest, I've been out of stock of some things more than I've been in stock with some things, because I've just actually sold them. I mean, things like the things that people are familiar with, people like to buy.
Yeah.
The thermometers and things like that. I get them in and they're gone within like no time. And the trouble is, like I say, everything has to come from abroad, so it always takes a while to get hold of stuff back in. So I'm having to like buy more and more at a time to do it. What I'm really wanting, my next step though, is I'm going to try and major quite seriously into CCTV, because if you come over here in the UK and you want to buy a decent CCTV rig, you're going to look at the best part of 500 quid.
Yeah.
It's madness. You can get it done. You can get a really good paranormal CCTV set if you put it together yourself from some of the places. And I'm going to try and work on getting some really good cameras, some good quality cables, some good DVRs, and make packages for people to be able to get this stuff, not from Maplins, but can be paying God knows what for it, but to be buying it for their purpose, which I know what they're going to use it for. They know what they're going to use it for. So get cameras that are going to be worthy of what they want to use it for. And all the things are going to, like cabling that will stand being put away and put out and put away and put out, rather than will break because it's been laid out more than once. Mm-hmm. Get all the right stuff and just present really good quality CCTV, because I think there's definitely, I know I want to buy decent CCTV, and I'm sure there's other groups that could do with it. Yeah. And kind of do some really good stuff with that as well. But that won't be probably until the end of the summer. It's just about finding the right places to get the right stuff from.
John Savage wants to know, will you ship to the States?
Yeah, I'll ship to the States if they pay if the postage is all right, because there's no tax, if you like, to be paid from the UK to the States. It's always the other way around. So but yeah, I have no problem with that. It's just that I have enough trouble with the UK postage, to be honest, and trying to work out what it's likely to be.
Yeah, this is it.
But so I've got on the side, like, if anyone wants to buy it from overseas, then no problem. But just let me know what you want, and I'll give you the postage for it.
Yeah. Now, I ordered these torches from you.
Yeah.
Right. Who do I complain to? No, seriously.
Me. No. You complain to me.
No, seriously. These torches that I bought off you. Now, obviously, I've bought some before off eBay, UV lights. But where are you getting these UV torches? They're not police issue, are they?
They're a lot better.
Because they're a hell of a lot better.
I like them, but I like to sell things that I like to own. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I like to be able to offer things to sell that I like to own, and I don't like cheap stuff. I don't like rubbishy stuff. I like good quality metal made things
Yeah.
that will last a bit. And paranormal investigation demands better quality stuff, I think. So where did I get them from? I got them from somewhere in China. I couldn't tell the bloke's name. He calls himself Bruce, but I'm sure he's not called Bruce really.
We used to get them from Hong Kong or something, but
Yeah, it's going to come
but
from
as
somewhere
I say, these are a hell of a lot better. They're brighter. You shine them, and they look like, no disrespect, but you look like as if you're watching bloody CSI, and they're shining their torches. You know what I mean? I'm sure if I go somewhere, I can probably find DNA with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Don't shine it in places you things you don't want to see. That's what.
Yes, but you know what I'm saying though.
Yeah.
It's very, very. They're very good, you know, compared to the ones we've got that we originally bought.
Yeah. I have a question from Tim Jones for you. He says, would you ever do an investigation where you only use CCTV and no human influence?
I don't see why not. Although, to be honest, it's very boring watching CCTV footage when you've got human influence.
But I mean, I know he said that, but wouldn't you influence just by setting up?
Yeah, I suppose you would, really, wouldn't you? Because you put something in the environment
because you have to enter that area, don't you? And then you add something to it.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Tim's referring to the kind of lockdown procedures that some people will do. They'll lock the location down. Nothing moves without them knowing about it, and all that sort of stuff. There's, you know what? I don't think there's any right or wrong way of doing. Well, there probably is wrong ways of doing stuff, but I don't think you can never do enough things to try and get a result.
I mean, we've tried some weird things over the years. I mean. We even tried to match it up with the planets and see if that worked.
Yeah.
Because, as you may know, individual planets are supposed to be
influential
over different.
Well, it influences the sea and all that sort of stuff, doesn't it? So, and God knows what else. So why not? Why wouldn't it influence, traditional things like, how people feel or emotions or, if you like, spirituality or ghosts, for example?
Yeah, we did it for 12 months and we didn't find any significant change one way or the other.
No.
Oh, yeah, but was it the Chinese Year of the Monkey? You see, that makes all the difference.
I knew my son would have to get in there.
I knew we'd done something wrong there.
So no, it's not just a case of going out there and doing it, is it? Really?
Not anymore.
There's so much. I don't want to say science because I don't think science really has much to do with it.
No.
I think it's more about trying to be consistent in what you do and understanding the results of what you've done influencing what you've got, so to speak. So, you know what it's like. When you first went out, you were fascinated with everything.
Yeah.
These days, you go out and you can write most of it off because you know better from your experience.
Mm-hmm.
And I think everybody's fascinated that's fascinated by it, and everyone's got to go through the same learning experience and all that sort of stuff. So, science is. I know people like to take a scientific approach, which is graphs and numbers and controlled this, that, and the other, which is great.
Yeah.
But there's lots of other approaches as well, and I don't think that any one approach should write off the other approach because no one knows, do they? So no one should be writing off their way as better than everyone else's.
When it comes to public paranormal investigations, would you say that the people that are going on them want a proper paranormal investigation, or do they just want the thrill?
I think it's a mixture. I think the public don't like to be lied to, and they want to be on a proper investigation.
Yeah,
but they're there for the thrill of it.
Right, because obviously, if you gave them all the gadgets and gizmos to use, do they want to actually be part of that side of it? Do you think, or do they just want to be in the Victorian seance bits and this, that, and the other?
You know what? The most successful part is all the interactive bits, and it's the Victor, if you like, the seance is brilliant because they can have a go, and the anticipation builds, and when you do get something that makes a bit of a weird noise in the room, it gives them that thrill and scare.
Yeah.
Whereas if you've got an instrument in your hand, it's quite fun to use, but is it when it goes off, it's not going to give you the kick, is it?
No, this is it.
And I think on public events where it's a bit like an open day at the fire station, isn't it? You introduce everyone to all the tools and tricks and techniques that you have learned and let them enjoy the stuff as well. And I think things like seances and automatic writing and all that sort of stuff, whilst they may not hold any evidence from a perspective of, I'm going to produce to you or going to try and convince you this place is haunted based on their evidence, and my evidence is based on the seance, you're going to go, it's rubbish.
Yeah.
But the fact is that these are traditional methods and they are great, really interesting to conduct, and some very strange things can come from some of them. You'll never be able to draw evidence from it, like I say, but you can certainly get fascinated with the things that happen.
Yes.
Yeah. Tim said, have you ever had a case that involved telephone calls from the dead?
You know what? I would just love to do that. If you've ever read Cal Cooker's book, it's enough to make your hair stand on end. Just the stuff that happens. You know what? I wanted to buy. I read that book and I thought I want to buy one of those old telephones, and I went off looking for one. And now I'm kind of thinking to myself, do I really want one of these old telephones in my house? What happens if it rings? What am I going to do?
Answer it.
Yeah, I know, but it's like, I don't know. I'd love. Wouldn't you just love that?
It would be good, wouldn't it?
Fascinating.
Fascinating.
I mean, the thing is, though, unless it wasn't plugged in, if you answered it, you just think somebody was taking the mick, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly. And the trouble is that these old telephones now, you kind of, so many of them have been modernised to plug in, etc. It's hard to find one that hasn't been touched.
No, this is it.
But yeah, no, brilliant. I'd love to do something like that. I'd love to find a case where the phone rings and stuff. That'd be brilliant.
Yeah.
There's a story about a Fisher Price Charles toy phone that used to ring.
The one with the wobbly eyes?
Yeah.
Well, funny enough, that house investigation, that had one of them, didn't it? That used to ring.
That used to ring. I know.
So, perhaps you knew about that story.
Yeah,
I don't
kids' toys are great things for that sort of weirdness, aren't they? Got the example of the phone ringing there, but there's also, how many times have you heard of the organ played, or or the Action Man started talking in the middle of the night?
Yeah.
All those things, the kids' toys are fascinating for going off just randomly.
And when you've heard the story as a child that all the toys come to life in the bloody toy cupboard, you know what I mean? That's just spooky.
Yeah.
When you get older and you see a toy coming to life, it brings back all your childhood fears.
I know, doesn't it just?
Oh my God! So Ghost Store. Obviously, you're really filling it up, aren't you? You've got trigger objects to sell, and you've got torches, you've got rune stones, smudge sticks, candles. You've got all sorts, incense. So you're really going for this, aren't you?
Oh yeah, I just want it to be all the best things in one place, and of course I've had to choose all the things that I like because it's my shop. You know what I mean? I like things in there.
Yeah, why not?
But I think the other thing is I was looking at I think we use things like data loggers, and I'm just enthralled by these things. I think they're so cool, but maybe people that never use data loggers would never consider using them and therefore never really enjoy the stuff that they get from them. So I'm going to try and I might in the next week or so do like a Tim's Choice or something like that. It'll just contain all the stuff we've already got, but all put in one page to say, look, I think these things are really cool. And if you're a ghost hunter looking to buy different stuff, have a look at what I've chosen. It's almost like a manager's choice, if you like, or whatever you want to call it. But of just the cool things that I think cannot be missed from ghost fun.
So your clockwork pendulum, does it actually come in that little box?
Yeah, it does.
Oh, that's quite cute, that
box.
Those
boxes are so cool, aren't they? Yeah, it comes in that box and it works. It's actually a pocket watch.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, they're really cute. They are.
Yeah, nice they are.
You've got some, I tell you, I've not seen some of the gadgets that you've got on other stores, even, obviously Tom's Gadgets, they sold a few, but they didn't sell everything, did they?
No, Tom's was very almost like his stuff that he sold was great, but it was almost the stuff that it was used for other things. Like the doors was actually for something else. Measuring EMF and stuff. But it's like it kind of crept its way into the ghost hunting market.
Yeah.
Whereas I think what's happened now, the evolution of it all, is that we now have products which have been built specifically for ghost hunting.
Yes, this is it.
Yeah, but they all seem to be bloody expensive.
Yeah, that's the trouble. They all seem to be expensive.
They do. It's the blooming. I can tell you now, it's import tax and postage.
Yeah,
it's outrageous. You can buy. I was talking to one of my customers the other day. He wanted to buy a millimeter from me, and I just can't get it. And he bought one from the States, and I don't know how much he paid for it, but he was quite pleased with what he did. And then 2 weeks later, he's having a nightmare because he's got caught up in customs. They're going to charge him 20% plus the handling fee plus something else. He ended up paying an extra like 60 quid on top.
Well, this is it.
Yeah, I remember when we first started, we were we had to do everything in a hurry,
Yeah.
and we ordered some cheap CCTV cameras from Hong Kong.
Yeah.
The camera itself was $1.99.
All right. Yeah.
Cost £12 to post it. And it weighs, and as you know, it weighs nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, even the good Sony ones that we have now don't weigh that much.
No.
No, exactly. And you've used CCTV, so you know the difference between a good camera and a bad camera. And I've learned a bit about them as well. And I think one of the when you, like you say, you were in a rush to buy it, you went out and you bought something which was going to serve your purpose, if you like. But what we need as ghost hunters, we need not only we don't need a CCTV camera that's like someone sticks on the side of a building. We need one with a wide angle lens because it's going to be put in a room, and we've got to cover the wide room, so we need a 4mm lens. The other thing is you don't want too bright a LED on it or infrared LEDs because what you get a really whited out picture. So the new ones out have got array infrared on them, which actually spreads it out much better. You don't get that direct beam torchlight effect. You get a lit up room with an array camera, and a good quality thing that can be put away and put out lots of times without it suddenly breaking. Those things are what we need as ghost hunters in our equipment, and those things are the things that people don't realise when they first buy this kit and end up having spending a lot of money on stuff which is not really going to serve the purpose.
It sounds to me like we'll be coming to see you for some of them.
Well, I bought some cameras and I trialed them over the weekend, and I have to tell you, I was absolutely blown away with the performance of the cameras. I haven't got enough to list them on my site because I've used them, so I can't sell them again now. But I'm going to buy more of them because I was so impressed with them. And they're not even expensive. These cameras will probably be listed on my site for, I don't know, 35, 40 quid or something, and they are absolutely knockout. I haven't seen anything better than these cameras.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the last lot of cameras we bought 4 on eBay, and they were all Sony. They all come with, fix them to the wall brackets and stuff, and that cost us 145 quid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as you say, they've got the bright LEDs. They don't have the wide angle lens. I mean, the picture is absolutely fabulous. Don't get me wrong, but like you say, you need a wider lens and that on it, and you just can't get it.
Yeah.
No, it's because it's built for something else, and it's built for looking after your garden shed or your garage and stuff, isn't it? And that's what its purpose is. But it's like, if you go, I've spent ages trying to find the stuff and doing all sorts of boring studies trying to find out what we need.
Yeah.
And the wide angle lens, which means you can position the camera quite clumsily and still capture the whole room, so you don't have to spend ages trying to set it up.
But,
and just little things like that make a massive difference.
I've noticed you've got a full spectrum illuminator.
Yep.
Right, okay. So obviously when you shine this into a room, it doesn't make the room bright, to take it.
No, it's for using with like the full spectrum cameras.
Yeah.
So if you was to shine an infrared, it would work with it. If you've got a full spectrum camera and you use an infrared illuminator, yes, it would work, but it wouldn't give you the other end of the spectrum, which is the ultraviolet stuff.
Yeah.
So basically, the full spectrum illuminator does the infrared and the ultraviolet, and it does it gives a much better illumination for the camera that's being used.
Yeah. If you've got say for instance you've got an old, I don't know, Sony night vision, and they're okay with night vision, but they're not good for picking up full spectrum.
You get about 10 feet.
You know what I mean? You probably get about 10 feet or something if you're lucky. If you was to, could you use one of them and enhance it?
Well, you'd be better off using an infrared illuminator with it, because unless you actually had the camera changed to full spectrum. Yeah. Because full spectrum is infrared and ultraviolet all in the same picture, so there's no filtration. All the light sources are being used by the camcorder.
Right.
Whereas if you like your camcorder, or the Sony camcorder that does infrared, basically when you turn infrared on, what happens is it turns off the infrared filter on the lens and turns on an infrared LED, so it lights up.
Yeah.
And when you turn it off, it turns on the infrared filter again, because we don't want everything when we're filming, I don't know, family birthday, we don't want everyone looking like they're green.
No.
So that's how it kind of works. And when you take away the infrared filter, that stops it filtering infrared, so therefore it picks up infrared all the time, and you do something similar for the other end of the spectrum, then you end up with a full spectrum camera, which is when you get that really weird looking effect where the trees are all white and the skies look really dramatic and all that sort of stuff. That's kind of full spectrum, and it's just like one of these. It's a new thing that people are looking at in the ghost field, and it's crept in, and the illuminator just illuminates in ultraviolet and infrared.
Yeah. So that would work on that, would that?
It would work because it has infrared, yeah, and it would be a light source. But like I say, you'd be better off with an infrared camera using an infrared illuminator.
Right, okie dokie. Well, I can definitely see me buying stuff from you. Definitely. As I say, because there's some stuff there that I'm really, really interested in.
Brilliant.
So, I see you haven't got any thermal images yet, though.
I've got a thermal imager, and I actually believe it. I can list it on the site. Not mine for sale, but I can. It's one of those things. They're so bloomingly expensive to buy them as stock would probably be a nightmare.
Yeah.
But what I could do, I can list them because I do have a trade deal with the supplier, so I could get one probably slightly cheaper than you would normally pay for it if you went to an internet stockist, if you like.
So, somebody's asked, what about a deluminator?
A deluminator? Is that a bit like a laminator?
I
don't know. What's a deluminator?
Turn the lights off, Andy. Turn the lights off.
Yeah, I think he's thinking Harry Potter.
I think he's thinking about Harry Potter. Turn the light off. Just turn the light off, Andy. That'll deluminate it.
Can I just say and be cheeky before Sue does?
Yeah, go for it.
It's normally Sue that's cheeky. But if you need anything field testing, give us a shout.
Yeah, okay, I'm up for that, but it needs a bloody good plug on your radio shows.
You'll get it all the time.
Of course it will be.
Yeah. Okay, well, you let me know, and I might send you a REM DD up there to test out for a little while.
Go for it.
That'd be cool.
Go for it, and I'll have a look. So,
all right.
I'm pretty sure Sue's already been advertising your shop anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant.
I'm pretty sure we can stick it on the show as well.
So definitely, don't worry about that.
Okay,
look what we've got. This is how it works. I'll even try and demonstrate it on the show.
Yeah, and I'm up for that. We'll do a show and use it as a bit of the show because they are quite fascinating and they're quite interesting. And it's one of those things, unless you use it, you'll never really appreciate it from looking at pictures. It is quite cool.
It. Yeah, do that. Send me a REM. I'm away for the week, as you know. I'm in Romania, but I'll be back on the 23rd.
All right. Catch me when you're back soon. We'll sort something out.
All right, darling.
Andy the Jiggy Bug, he said, make an ad. I'm sure they'll play it.
Yeah, make an ad.
I could do that, couldn't I?
Do it.
Go for it.
Do it. I can always play it halfway through the show.
That sounds like a bit of a laugh. I'll do that.
Yeah, why not? Why not? That's a good idea.
It is a good idea.
You know what I mean? You send me a REM DD, I'll plug your ad every week. I'll even put it on the actual live stream if I don't get into trouble.
Okay.
But I can put it on the beginning of the show. I can put it on the middle of the show, anywhere. Even when I do the replay.
Yeah, that sounds good. See, people that are listening now will discover that actually we've just set this up and you've been terribly bribed to do this stuff. They don't really believe in this stuff. They've just been bribed to put this advert on.
No, this is it. No, seriously.
I mean, to be perfectly honest,
we're here to help anyway.
And on top of that, if we didn't think it worked for us, we'd say so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to work for some and not for others anyway. So each to their own, isn't it?
I think it's one of those bits of kit. I think it's really cool. Not many people have used it, and like I say, people like to buy things they're familiar with. And if they're not familiar with the REM DD, they're probably not going to buy it. So it's about getting it out there so people can understand it. You know, like the Mel meters. Everyone uses Mel. Well, not everyone. I haven't got one, but lots of people use them. And I know that Mel spent ages like giving their stock away on competitions and stuff just to get them out in the field.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I know Brian used a REM DD on the show he's on recently, didn't he?
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What Brian J. Kano?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had Brian J. Kano on the other week from Haunted Collector.
Yeah.
And he used one on there.
So that's when I first heard of it.
Oh, okay.
So,
brilliant.
And I thought, oh, that's a weird gadget. And then I saw it on your site. So
the REM DD. It's probably one of my favourites. It really is quite cool.
So, but
yeah, because Brian's very much into his gadgets, and he brings them all in the show. And the more people watch that show, the more people are going to see the gadgets and are going to want to buy them.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
it.
It is one of those things that I've noticed on Google gets searched as in REM-DD, etc. But I would say, if you buy one from us, it's got a very customised configuration about it. It's not just an REM-DD. There's something special about the ones we're selling.
What does REM-DD actually mean?
Random. No, I don't know. Radial, I do know, but I don't know right now because I read it once. Thought, oh yeah, that makes sense.
You've got it.
Distributional device is the DD, isn't it?
Yes.
So let's just see. Let me Google it for you and see what comes up. Not a lot.
Radial emittance something or other, I think.
I know rapid eye movement, but that's not it, is it? It's not rapid eye movement.
No, it could be interesting, but it's not really anything to do with that. Mind you, if I whip the aerial around your face, it would probably cause the same effect.
Yeah, well, this is it. I don't know, but yeah, I'll definitely contact you when I get back.
All right.
And we'll set something up. But as I say, if you want to do a little promo for yourself, then we can always bring it on the show, no problem.
Okay, I'll see what I can put together.
Yeah, do that.
I mean, we're normally on for about 3 hours anyway, so I mean, it's
yeah.
I mean, we're more than willing to help people out there. And obviously, it's going to be a lot of groups and things that are going to need stuff.
That's fantastic. I mean, if there's anything you can say solidly about you guys, I'm sure there's quite a lot. But one of the things I know that you're famous for is the fair play in the paranormal field, and you've been stuck to that for years and years now. And I think you've
thank you.
a massive supporter of every group out there, not just a select few and stuff. And I think that's
great.
solely to your credit.
It's something we've tried to do, I must admit, and at the end of the day, we're all in it for the same thing, and I can't see why there's so much animosity out there, to be honest with you. It's just beyond me.
Yeah, I think Annie 707's just had a look at it. He said it looks good.
Yeah, it does look good. But as I say, we have tried. Obviously, there's a select few that do agree with us, and there's some that don't. But as I say, it doesn't matter if they don't agree with us, because we'll still try doing it. And
yeah,
if the minority are happy with what we're doing, then we're happy.
Yeah, it's just about doing your own game, and I think you've done a great job over the years with helping people out and supporting people in dark times and all the rest of it. So
this is
so
it.
Brilliant.
Yeah, as I say, we're not here just for ghost stores or anything. We don't mind helping everyone. Don't forget, we've got paranormalevents4you.com where you can advertise for free on there as well.
Super.
Okay,
Brilliant.
well, thanks a lot, Tim. It's been great speaking to you again.
You're welcome. Okay. Thank you very much, guys, as well.
And as I say, keep in touch. Don't be a stranger, all right? And if you've got any new gadget coming out, not saying I want it, but just let us know and we'll put it out there. We can tell, even if you come on and say, well, we've got this out now, or
yeah, and I can tell you why I think it's cool, and that'll be good.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be brilliant. Just let us know. Sue, I've got this on. We can always give you 10, 15 minutes if you want to talk about the project or whatever.
Super.
It's not a problem, Tim. We're here for everyone and anyone.
Fantastic.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, babe. You take care.
Good. Have a great time away as well.
I will do. Good night.
Good night. Bye.
Bye. Well, that was not Tim Jones. That was Tim Brown's. It's because I was looking at Tim Jones's name. That was Tim Brown from Pigs. And just in case you've forgotten, PIG stands for Paranormal Intelligence Gathering Service. And they're down there in Sussex. And don't forget, if you want to get anything from Tim's website, from the Ghost Store, then all you need to do is go to pigs.co.uk, or rather the-pigs.co.uk/ghost store, and you'll be able to find everything you want there. And we are happy to advertise Tim and his products anytime, and never know, they could be, and hopefully will be, the next name in paranormal equipment.
Yeah, especially now Tom's gone.
Yeah, but not only that, they've got more range anyway than Tom, so that's good.
Yeah, they have got a bigger range. I mean, Tom's was the only well-known one out there, really.
Well, this is it, yeah.
I mean, obviously we've been contacted by one in Scotland as well.
Yeah, so
we can give them a shout. Good.
Did you have anything on your arm? Yes, I did. I had a thing on my arm. Yeah. See ya. See ya. I had it on my arm. I get problems with my elbow now and again. So yeah, I took it off. All right, don't worry, it's not paranormal. I'll have to do it. Maybe I should do a competition.
Yeah. What's missing?
What's missing? Yeah, spot the difference. Well, we're going to take a quick break while we go into the paranormal events for you. We'll see you in a bit.
We've got all the news right here. Don't go away.
Fed up of wading through the activities and events that other advertisers include? Find just what you're looking for at paranormaleventsforyou.com, your one-stop paranormal directory.
On the 18th of May, Wasp Paranormal are going to Fort Amherst in Kent. On the 18th of May, Haunted Places Paranormal are off to Hayes Library, Bromley, Hayes in Kent. On the 23rd of May, UK Shadow Seekers are holding a paranormal social night at the Boundary near to Guybridge Station in Ashton-under-Lyne. On the 25th of May, Club Zero are going to Mill Street Barracks in St Helens. On the 1st of June, Grave Encounters UK are doing a charity event at Drakelow Tunnels near Kidderminster. On the weekend of the 1st of June, there's a Mind, Body and Spirit Fair at the new Epic Centre, Lincolnshire Showgrounds, Grange de Lings in Lincoln. On the 7th of June, Twilight Paranormal are going to Dolby House, Ilkeston in Derbyshire. On the 7th of June, UK Shadow Seekers, in conjunction with Simply Ghost Nights, are going to Galleries of Justice in Nottingham. On the 8th of June, the UK's first portal webcam live investigation starts from 9 p.m. For more information, contact the Paranormal Events for You website. On the 15th of June, Haunted Places Paranormal are doing the Canterbury Tales at St Margaret Street in Canterbury. On the 22nd of June, UK Shadow Seekers are going somewhere in the middle of nowhere.
So check out the one-stop paranormal directory for more investigations and events available now. ParanormalEventsForYou.com also offers banner advertising for only £10 per year. See our website for more details. ParanormalEventsForYou.com, your one-stop paranormal directory. Yeah, welcome back to the last dying minutes of the show. And soon we'll be leaving you to go and finish off packing. Won't we, Steve?
We will get a snack and
Yep. See whether our visitor has arrived downstairs.
I've not heard the door go.
No, I haven't either. So
No, don't go. Don't go, Andy. Don't go.
I've got to get some sleep. I'm thinking of starting my own radio show. Why not? Why not? Or if you know any mediums who wants to come on and do readings over the airways, come and join us on here. Did you see Todd is relaunching? Yes. Thank you for reminding me. I have got it here. Somewhere. There he is. Thank you for reminding me. If you remember a few weeks ago, we had Todd Bates on the show, who used to run an American show called Haunted Voices. Well, Todd's back with a vengeance. He's returning to Haunted Voices from the 22nd of May. And he'll be... Shut up. Sorry about that, guys. I just went on there. Let me just go to what he said to me on Skype earlier. And I can give you the exact timings. He's going to be on around about 2 o'clock British summertime, GMT, whatever we're on at the moment. 2 o'clock in the morning, and because he's 6 hours behind us, so I think that will be early hours Thursday morning. But if you're in the vicinity of the USA, let's see, where are we? He did put his times on. He's at 9 p.m. EST, Eastern Standard Time. Okay. He's also going to be 8 p.m. Central Time, is that? And 6 p.m. Pacific. I'm guessing. Doc Savage are no more. But he's coming back. And he's got plenty of guests coming on his show. He's booked at the moment up until July. He's also promised to have us on there one evening. Which he doesn't have to, but he said he would like us to come on the show. So, as from next week, if you still want more paranormal gossip and paranormal discussions and fun, then why not join hauntedvoices.com and listen to Todd Bates. I'll just give you his website there, and
yeah, Andy said he always used to set his alarm.
We will try and listen in, and I've got to rejoin the site again because I used to be part of the site years ago. Because a long time ago, our old group used to have a show on his server, didn't they?
They did. And,
so maybe you should stay online until he starts and do a handover. Oh yeah, 8 till 2 in the morning. What would we talk about? Who would stay up? I don't know. And if we come on later, remember, we're in England. Some people need to go to bed and get up for work in the morning. So some people are still at work in America, aren't they, Doc? So if but he has told me that it will be on demand afterwards, as soon as the show's finished. So you'll be, if you miss the show, you can always listen to it on demand. Same with the KTPF. If you do miss the show, you can always catch it on the radio replay, which you can find on our website. If you just go to our website at ktpf.co.uk, which is where you're listening to now, you will see the slider at the on the top of the page, and if you click through there, you've got the missed show, which will take you to the latest show. The next page, if you click on that, tells you who's on next, and then we've got a few past radio replays taking you back with a few other links on there to within the site with discussion area, etc., ufology and stuff like that, and including Phenomena Magazine, who does actually support us. Steve Mera supports us, so we are recommended by Phenomena Magazine.
And he advertises us in there as well.
He does advertise us in there. And also, if you want to get anything after, or rather before, the 4 or 5 weeks that's on the actual website, you can always go to the YouTube page.
Does that sound like a dog?
I don't know why it sounds like a dog, unless it's Tigger coughing.
Let me go check.
Go and check on Tigger. I thought Roxy was back for a minute. I don't know. Could be in the bedroom. Could be downstairs. So yeah, will you be having Richard Felix on again? Hopefully. I've still got to go and see him. I think we're doing something like InfoWars, World of Conspiracy. Yeah, we've got to get you back on again, Andy. We're talking about a subject as well. So, and don't forget, if you are part of a paranormal group, we do need you on as well to talk about what you do. Next week we have a chap coming on called Evan Muckle. Do we have visitors down there?
Yes, he's at the moment he's been stroked
by a cat. I had a feeling she were there.
Cat's being stroked by the cat.
Right, we have an Evan Muckle. Yes, that is his real name. He's coming on the show next week to talk about his group, which if I remember rightly, is Twilight. I hope I've got that right. Let me just double check. Otherwise, I'm in trouble. I think it's Twilight Paranormal that he's from. Let me just double check. Because we've only got his name in the diary. And he's going to be coming on talking about his group. Meet the team. Let me see. Yes, that's right. Twilight Paranormal. So he's going to be coming on. He's been working in the paranormal industry for nearly 20 years, and he was always a skeptic in his youth, until one day his gran appeared in his room when he was 18, and he's believed ever since. A few years ago, he joined a group in Bassett Law, and through a lot of hard work, he appeared on Most Haunted Live and Jane Goodman's Investigates. His favourite aspects of investigating is doing experiments to prove the existence of spirit, and he decided to start Twilight Paranormal to help of his colleagues. Excuse me, as he's confident that in time we will be one of, they feel as he'll be one of the best groups in the UK. That's his opinion. Okay, so that's who we've got on next week, and we'll be telling you what's happened in Romania. If anything. So we'll be here. We will be late, possibly. We actually fly in and get back into Manchester at 5:30. So what we will be doing is we'll be getting off the plane, grabbing something to eat, getting indoors, and hopefully ready to run, because we're not breaking down the system tonight. So it will be a complete rush job. As soon as we get off the plane, land and eat, we'll be back on the show. So but as I say, thank you very much for joining us tonight. So Doc Savage is about to leave work. He says, have a safe flight and have a great investigation. Thank you, Doc. And you have a great week as well. And Andy707, thanks for popping in. And
Tim Jones.
Thank him. Tim Brown.
Aggie was in there for a while.
Yep. Tim Brown, thank you for popping in. Lee Brickley, if you're still there, I hope you have a great birthday tomorrow on the 16th of May.
We've got Chris and
Fuzzy. Fuzzbat.
Fuzzy.
So keep them peeled, and if we do end up going down to Cannock Chase, you're more than welcome to join us.
Yeah, we've got Shells and not forgetting old JW.
Yeah, old JW there, our new sound manager, who sits there and actually makes sure that everything sounds right and gives us the nod if it doesn't. So until next time, guys, thank you very much. And as Tim says, paranormal unity is great. Keep it up, guys. And we will do, as long as you're prepared to do it as well, because we can't do it without you. So until next time, we'll be here
every Wednesday night
as usual, and we want
this
you
is
to...
where it's at.
Oh, where's Mondo? Are you still there? He's going to be coming in the morning.
Yeah, he'll see us in the morning.
Yep, he'll see us in the morning. So he's going to bed now. So,
see you in roughly 4.5 hours.
Yeah. So all that's left to say is keep the paranormal friendly, guys. Don't we, Steve?
We do indeed. Keep it friendly, and we'll see you all next week.
Bye for now.
Listen the children of light. What sweet music, my mind.
And now, here's a word from our sponsor.
Finally, the #1 weight loss and fitness challenge in North America is coming to the UK. Don't miss your chance to be the first Brits to be a part of it. Be honest, right now you probably want to lose some weight, live a healthier, more active lifestyle, or get in better shape. We're here to challenge you to make your health a priority with the new Body by Vi 90-day challenge.
My favorite thing about the challenge was just losing the weight. Got my life back, that's it.
Now we've gone from being couch potatoes to being, fit athletes, working out, strength training every single day. It's changed our whole lifestyle.
Let's be real. You don't have to look far to see we have a problem. A growing problem. With today's work demands and faster-paced lifestyle driving us toward quick fixes, it's no secret how we got here. Finally, something that's simple, affordable, fun, tastes amazing, and most importantly, it works. The Body by Vi Challenge is the solution you've been searching for. The challenge is North America's #1 90-day platform for weight loss and fitness results. To date, over 500 million Vi shakes have been served to millions of people who have already lost millions of pounds, making the challenge the fastest growing weight loss and fitness movement in North America today. Powered by a line of innovative wellness products from Vi, the Body by Vi Challenge is coming to the UK. The perfect way to start a lasting health transformation. First, you set a goal. Next, select a kit. Then, enter to win. It's that easy, and in a minute you will learn how you can even get your kit for free. Let's talk about your goal. If you were to set a 90-day health goal right now, what would it be? Lose some weight? Shed some inches? Run a 5K? Build some muscle? Whatever it is, it all starts with you going public with your challenge goal. Then you'll select one of 3 challenge kits designed to help you accomplish your goal. The centerpiece of each kit is the Vi Shape Shake with a scientifically proven formula. Thousands of healthy and delicious ways to mix it up. The Vi Shake is easy, affordable, and tastes amazing. And since it's a healthy meal replacement, the challenge can actually save you money on your eating out and grocery bills. You can have even more fun and nearly triple your chance of success when you do it with others. That's why Vi created the 3 for Free program that helps you get your kit for free when you refer 3 others to take the challenge with you. Last year, over 400,000 free kits were awarded to people on the challenge. Do you want your kit for free?
The 3 for Free program just allows anybody, no matter what circumstances they are, to get their product for free and get healthy at the same time.
And new in 2013, it gets even better. Having helped millions find success, we're so confident that we've added a new 90-day money-back results guarantee. Save money, get it for free, money-back guarantee. You've got absolutely nothing to lose. But wait, need more reasons? How about 30 million more? Last year alone, we gave away over £30 million worth of free products, prizes and holidays for people on the challenge. And now, with the new Body by Vi Challenge, there are even more ways to win, with larger, weekly, monthly and big prizes. After studying millions of challenge transformations, we believe that the secret to your success lies in losing the first £10. That's why we've launched Project 10, where every week in 2013, we're awarding a total of $10,000 to 10 people who lose £10. Just document your challenge and submit for a chance to be one of 5 men and 5 women selected every week to win $1,000 in cash. What would you do with the extra money? Plus, since everyone who loses on the challenge really wins, lose £10 and show off your free I Lost It t-shirt. How soon will you be saying I lost it? 3 times a year, Vi celebrates the most inspiring 90-day weight loss, active and fitness transformations by crowning our new Body by Vi champions.
Absolutely amazing. We want this for everybody, so commit, submit, you never know. You fill that thing out and you can win. This is amazing. Our lives are going to change.
Experience the Vi life when the red carpet is rolled out for all champions on the ultimate transformation vacation. And while it's great to be treated like an A-lister just for transforming your health, let's not forget the £3,000 Beverly Hills wardrobe shopping spree. You could be the next Body by Vi champion.
It's been just amazing, getting picked up by a private driver and the goodie bags and the schedule and the feeding and the dresses. It's just been amazing.
And by simply selecting a kit, you have access to all the resources you need to succeed. So, set your goal, select your kit, enter to win. Be the first in the UK to be on the challenge. Just talk to the person who showed you this video to learn more, or be invited to a challenge party near you. There is no better time than now to start making your health a priority. So why not start losing weight, getting fit, saving money, and having fun? Guaranteed. Are you up for the new Body by Vi Challenge?
The one phone call that I made to try to join the challenge to lose weight has changed every aspect of our life.